Greetings, YouTube! How are you from the center of the earth? This is Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am with Nerdrotic Channel's own Gary Beekler, and we have seen... now we're live. We are live. Hello, YouTube. Welcome, my friends. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me is Nerdrotic Channel's own Gary Beekler, my co-inquisitor, my grand inquisitor. This is the Inquisition, but we will not be inquisitioning anything tonight, folks. Tonight, I come not to bury the Expanse, but to praise it unconditionally, to show it, to try and find a way to convey just how much I love this show, how much in awe I am, how blown away I was by the first episode of the 4th season, New Terra. I am blown away. Gary, you saw this several months ago, but I just saw it, so I am oh my god, I am absolutely speechless. I am so speechless. I am so emotional. I'm so hyped up, and I am just blown away. Gary, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Sorry, it's been such a crazy day, and it's my fault there was no exozone, but this was a happy surprise. I had retweeted my old video, which got my channel going, by the way, under bad news, that when the Expanse was canceled, May 10th, 2018, it was a dark day. It was 11 p.m. at night. I got word that it got canceled. I went live. I was trying to hide how really sad I was. I don't think I did a very good job. And it's been such a long road. And my channel was small, but I did update videos on the Save the Expanse movement. I know you were an integral part in that. The Screaming Firehawks, if there's any of them out there, what is up? It's good to see you again. It has been too damn long, and I'm so happy it's back. And even though I saw it a few months ago, watching it again gave me goosebumps. This is everything that's good with television. There's a one scene that we'll talk about that was it's the single best scene in the entire series, and it happened in the first episode. And we'll go over it, man. You could see the Amazon cheddar behind this. The music is better, and the acting has always been great. I am overjoyed that this is back. It has been a long time since we've had something good to report on. And and we need to praise the good as much as we take on the bad, right?
Absolutely. And I want to just say that this is, without a doubt, the best show on television right now at this moment. And I can tell you that this is one of the best shows of all time. This may actually be the greatest science fiction television show ever made. And I don't say that lightly. I tweeted out that I am known as a hard ass. I am known as someone who does not compromise. I do not get hypnotized. I do not buy into the raw kind of crowd mentality that goes with a big release. If something sucks, I'll say it sucks. I get tumble to that within the first 10 minutes. And when I go the opposite way, and when I tell you that this is great, that this is a great show, The Expanse is fucking great, you can believe me. You can absolutely believe me, because I would not exaggerate. I wouldn't even get swept up in the moment. Not at all. Not at all. Like when I reviewed The Mandalorian, I said it was the Mandalorian because I was not buying into the hype. I saw the damn thing. Well, I've seen this, and I got to say, I thought it was perfect. There's not a single thing about it that rang phony that I would change. And I think, Gary, first, what we'll do is do just a broad talk. We don't want to give away any spoilers at this juncture. Now, I want to let you guys know that we're going to do a larger review of the show, I believe, sometime Saturday. Give us a chance, give everyone a chance to kind of binge it and think about it. Maybe binge it twice if you're going to go without sleep. And you know, and then we'll go into details. We'll go into spoilers, but we're going to try to not do any spoilers, at least on the front half of this. I mean, maybe the last 30 minutes we might go ahead and say, okay, now we're doing spoilers. So, but we'll warn you, right?
Yeah, we'll give them plenty of warning. Way? And I can say without spoiling anything now, there's a lot of, I mean, there are spoilers, but it's a lot of setup. So in a lot of recap and like catching up with season 3. But yeah, we'll give you fair warning. We don't want to ruin any of this for anybody. So
and somebody said that there are other streams going on right now. Well, you get their asses over here because this is the Expanse. God damn it. This is the Expanse. It has nothing to do with the Inquisition or Gary or me. This is the Expanse, and this has been a long time in the desert. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Look, this just crept up on me. I mean, I have, been waiting for this for so long, right? That you just kind of go on without it. I mean, you kind of, there's pressing concerns. There's the Russo Soy Woker, there's, YouTube controversies, COPA, life. And then when I saw that it had dropped, that it was here, all of a sudden it was hard to breathe. And all of a sudden I realized it just swept over me. Like, oh my God, you mean it's here? I couldn't believe it. And I oh my God, when I saw the title credits, dude, I'm not ashamed to say that my eyes got welled over and I'm still emotional. This is excellence, Gary. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you talk here, but I just got to
dude, out, take your time, man. I am here. I am as much a viewer and a listener as anybody else. You go on, my friend. Don't let me stop you.
Dude, the thing about the Expanse and let me tell you why it's the best damn show on television. It's because of the writing. And it's from the writing springs the great acting. You can't have great acting with shit writing. You just can't. So it all starts with the writing, and the writing is flawless. The writing is nuanced, detailed, rich, emotional. And what happens when you've got great actors coupled with great directors, great flawless effects, and a script that'll break your heart? Then what happens is, like in a scene between Holden and his mom just talking around a fire, has more emotion in it than the entirety of some crap like Star Trek Discovery, or even an average show on television, like, I don't know, Hawaii Five-0 or any of these damn shows that are out there that get millions of people. This has more integrity, heart, and quality in it, in one scene where almost nothing is really going on, than in all those shows combined. And that is what we've lost. That's why my eyes well up when I watch this. It's because it reminds me of what we've lost, man. It reminds me of what we've lost. It reminds me of what we could have again. And it's not exaggerating it. I don't think it's exaggerating it. I think pop culture is important, and because it's our culture now, it's our literature, it's our mythology. And so when I see something like this, it fills me with hope, and it reminds me of what greatness is. And so, yeah, I get choked up.
No, that's why we watch this stuff. This is why we're into it. It's been this is the soundtrack of our lives. This is our mythology. These are our stories. I'm going to be able to show this to, when Logan gets a little older, he'll get into it. This is I could say it's a family show if the kid is over 15 or so. This is going to go down as one of the best science fiction shows ever. because of its, for one, its attention to detail. For the most part, I mean, no show is perfect. Okay, so don't look for that, but they really try. And another thing is their relationship with the fans. Naren Shankar and Seth MacFarlane are two of the best showrunners out there in television.
Damn right.
They both have great relationships with their fans. They know how to treat their fans with respect.
Damn right. And I don't mean to slam the Orville at all. I love the Orville. And the last season of the Orville was the best season, and it hit highs that are equal to Star Trek. I mean, at its finest, you know what I mean? So yep. no insult. No insult at all, or you know,
I think even Seth knows that like this show is on a different level. I mean, was trying to, you know, Seth's having fun, you know, it's a little wink, a little nod. This is like serious storytelling. When think of Game of Thrones in the first 3 seasons, this is what it is. It's just Game of Thrones in space. It's the stakes are that high. We have interesting enough characters. Character again, I can understand why you're getting emotional, because when you see something, there's a scene in here. I'm not going to say what it is. It's just a scene of somebody walking. Okay, it's just a scene of somebody walking, and when you hear the context, you'll understand. But this will be in the spoiler section. But this scene, is the best scene in the show. Period. In the history of the show, because we had buildup for this character.
Well, I think it's fair to talk about.
Oh yeah, because
I mean, it was in the trailer.
That's right. You're right. So
I mean, we can talk about that, because Gary, I know the music. I mean, we could go shot by shot, and the way that it's kind of like an elegy. It's like we're going into that in that scene. It would actually hit me a lot harder watching it in the full context, much harder, much better than it was in the trailer, dude. And let me tell you, when there's just showing all of those characters, and the music was some of the best music I think I've ever heard on a television show, and it made me feel again like we were going on an actual adventure, that we were going into something, God knows what it is. And I haven't felt that way in a long time. I mean, the Orville made me feel that way in Identity. And, but my God, it was just like, I just felt so emotional. There's something about Naomi pulling on that bar to get stronger. And then it cuts to Amos, and just the way that they shot him and the look on his face. And when he pulls that rifle, it's almost loving, and it's almost with regret and something else, some kind of yearning, like this is what he does. This may be ugly using this weapon, but this is part of who he is. And he sees the beauty in it, and yet also has enough humanity deep down to still regret it. You know what I mean? It's hard to convey how much emotion and subtext was in one shot in that sequence, with no lines.
At all. Yeah.
No lines.
We don't have to tell you anything. Hey, this person is smart. This person is tough. No, it was all conveyed with music, facial expressions, acting, talent, and it's still storytelling, by the way. And that's where some of the best moments are. But the only way these moments work is if you buy into the characters, if you believe these characters, like they are real. You have a relationship with the crew of the Rocinante, and they're real. I mean, now that it's got into the 4th season, it feels like things are just getting started. You know, we've gotten to know them, and now like it's going to go down, and it is. I've read the book, so they've made some changes, which are fine. I don't have a problem with it, because I think, quite frankly, the show improves on a couple of things from the books.
I've heard that, and I'm glad, because see, actually, this is the way they should do it, because after the Expanse television show is finished, and it's got to finish, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, if you're listening, you've got to finish this. You've got to finish this. Go all the way with this, man. We need the whole show. It will be a legend. It will be epic if you finish it. But I have to say that after it's done, I will be delighted to read the books and see where it goes different. I mean, that's cool. It's like getting two expanses for one.
It is. It is. Naomi is such a good character, and the scene we're talking about, it was a 5-minute clip that they released last summer. Naomi's a belter, so she lives out in space. She's grown up in space, was born and raised in space, and this was the first time she walked on the surface of a planet. So imagine we're 2 or 3 generations, I believe, up maybe more. I can't remember now, of people. What they did was, these were originally workers who went out to go mine asteroids, and they became their own society. They've become their own people now. They speak their own language. They're physically different than, because they grew up in space. Now their bones are thinner. They're tall and thin. They can't really do that as much in the show as they do it in the book. In the books, Naomi's very tall and skinny with big bushy hair.
Right.
But this was the first time she walked on a planet, and you would think it's hard to even explain it. You have to buy into the character of Naomi, and
yes,
imagine, again. Now, I do mean to diss on things. I'm going to diss on things, and because I want to show you how good The Expanse is. I, for some reason, decided to rewatch The Force Awakens today because I wanted to beat myself up. and Rey, the character of Rey, heard about
the
Force.
Character?
Not really. She heard about the Force, and 15 minutes later, she's doing the Jedi mind. And I mean, 15 minutes. It's probably a day later in her life. She's doing a Jedi mind trick, something she didn't believe in 24 hours earlier. And she's pulling it off without anybody training her or telling her it even exists. And she's able to do it. Naomi, we have 4 seasons of, and we still don't know all the secrets about Naomi. The great thing about this is we have gotten to know these characters as they got to know each other. They worked together, but that was it. They were like co-workers, and they were thrown together in the first season, through the whole proto-molecule incident and, getting the Rocinante and making it the Rocinante. And they were on this, and they became a family. So we've kind of grown along with them, and we've learned, Naomi's flaws. She's not very trustworthy, but she's still a human. So to see this character that we dig walk on a planet for the first time, and they were able to convey the wonder, the wonder. And then especially the guy's kind of sitting back and like letting her go, even when she fell down for a second, and just the innocent look in her eyes. And also the message it conveys within the story. The gates are opened up now, and the Belters are now kind of useless, and they sense this. All right. And so now that there's this big gold rush, because it was all about resources, Earth was overpopulated. Mars was being terraformed. It's another 100 years off. And, the Belters, they liked their society. They didn't mind growing up in space. And now the inner planets don't need them anymore. Especially, I mean, and this is going to create problems. And you see it in this episode. They're setting it up. So, but for her, and that's why they have to go on a planet, and for her to be able to, and some can't, by the way, some are not going to be able to. Some are going to have to live in space the rest of their lives.
Right.
But
they talk about that, Gary, how, like, I mean, it's no secret. It's not really a big spoiler that, people have settled through the gate. And a number of them died because they couldn't adapt.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And, sorry, but I'm going to try to stay within the trailer. But that scene conveyed so much, and nothing was said. Like Doomcock said, that like there wasn't a word during that scene at all, and it was the best scene of the entire series. And I've seen it. I saw it at a big packed theater at New York Comic Con, and then I just I watched it on my phone, but it was still great. And oh my God, this show's so good. The effects are so much better. And no disrespect to before. They were on like a shoestring budget, and they still did a great job. So I'm glad to see that they got a little extra cheddar, and you could see what these very talented people can do. And again, they already did a great job.
I have no complaints whatsoever on their effects work or anything. I mean, honestly, this show is kind of similar to The Shield in that I don't know if you ever saw The Shield, Gary.
Yeah.
There was not a single bad episode of The Shield, and from start to finish, I think it remains the high watermark of long narrative perfection on television because it never once stumbled. Now, it really, the pilot episode determined the entire story, moving right through to the end, and it never had a bad episode. It never got off track. It never lost its way. So far, The Expanse is like that. Now, I can't say that about The Expanse yet because it's not done. But I think that it has a chance. I can say it to this point. I've not seen a bad episode of The Expanse.
No, I haven't either. I haven't. The only time I've ever even come close to complaining wasn't their fault. You know, they had the kind of rush an ending because they thought they were getting canceled, and they still, I mean, people still love season 3. They hit the landing on that ending, I thought. So
I did too. In fact, I watched it before I watched this episode. Then I went back and I watched the last episode of season 3 again. And then I went and watched this episode again. That's what took so long. And oh my God, it was so emotional. It was such a great ending of season 3, I thought. My God. And Miller. I mean, we don't want to give anything away. I mean, there's nothing really plot-wise to give away, but just, you know, you can see from the credits that, Miller's not gone.
All they did in this episode was introduce some new characters. Something bad happened, but they gave no context for it.
Right.
Again, if you're a book reader, I mean, but you know everything. And I'm not spoiled. That's the thing is, you know, I know I know where they're going to go, the framework of this. And I'm as excited as if I hadn't read the books. I mean, I can't wait to see it, see what they change, what they're going to do with it. Because this is going to be the best season of The Expanse. I have such faith in these creatives, and I use the word too. Creatives. These are actual creatives, creative people who know what the hell they're doing, and just are good at their jobs. And this is why I love pop culture.
You mean they haven't hired cronies and nephews and they're not doing nepotism. They're actually hiring people that know how to write and write well, that maybe deserve their place. That's astonishing. If only Star Trek would have done that. If only Lucasfilm Story Group would have somebody on it that knew how to tell a story. Wouldn't that be grand? But alas, they don't. And therefore, here we are on the rocks and shoals of pop culture with only The Expanse on the horizon and the Orville in memory at this point to guide us through. I mean, there's a lot of great little shows on TV. Don't get me wrong. Patriot on Amazon Prime as well. Goliath. If you haven't seen Goliath on Amazon Prime, it's outstanding. 3 seasons of that. Fantastic. Amazon Prime does some damn fine work.
They got Good Omens. They got The Boys. They got The Expanse. Yeah, Umbrella Academy was a good show.
But I'm telling you, Gary, you got to watch the Patriot. You got to watch Patriot. It's one of my favorite shows that I've seen in a long time. This is something special, and I still do wish, as a fan of the show, not for my own selfish reasons, but as a fan of the show, that they had released this 1 or 2 episodes a week. I just, it would have helped I guarantee you at the end of this season, you would have increased your audience at least by 50%. At least it would have become a cultural moment. It would have trended on Twitter for weeks and weeks and weeks. And this is just a terribly sad missed opportunity to really spread the glory of The Expanse. I'm going to do the best I can. We will do the best we can on the Inquisition, but we needed a little help. And it's just as a fan, I'm happy. as somebody who would rather, put my gratification aside for the betterment of the show, I regret it.
I'm disappointed that they didn't do weekly. Because for one, you can always binge later. We need to be patient as adults, but I've got some numbers that I can tick up real quick of what they gave away. Okay. Just from our channels alone, and I'll estimate on the low end. So say we do a live stream and a video, each of us.
Right.
Or you'll do a live stream, you do a video, and I do a video. So we'll say 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. That's 150,000 clicks a week, and that's on the low end. Okay, a week, and we had 10 episodes times 10 equals 1, 2, 3 times 10 equals 1.5 million. So that's 1,500,000 clicks that they gave up of free advertising, and that's just us.
Just us.
Alt Shift X, who has like 1 million subscribers, would probably do a video a week and get 1 million views, minimum, maybe 2. If Emergency Awesome jumps on, or some other bigger channels, as the show gets bigger channels will jump on, and then we'll get more. I don't care about Twitter. Where the traction comes for TV shows, where at the water cooler and stuff, is on YouTube. So with 2 live streams that Doomcock and I did, we got 1 million views between 2 live streams. That's not counting our videos. That's 2 live streams. We got 1 million views on our channels. So, and Game of Thrones is the high end.
Right.
So they gave up 2 to 3 months of free advertising that not even Jeff Bezos could afford. Just on YouTube, the second biggest search engine on the planet. And this is why I've been harping on this. And
me too.
Nobody listened. Nobody. And listen, here are the facts. And I'm sorry. I love The Expanse, and I say this, and I'm upset because I love The Expanse. The show's going to be a memory in a couple weeks. It's going to be a memory. When it would be talked about every week and through March, and maybe further, because your audience would grow that much faster as time went on, and people could binge afterwards. I don't understand why you would waste this money, because it's
I don't know that. I mean, you made an excellent point, and I mean, it will not be forgotten in terms of the
not
fans.
By me. Yeah.
I mean, not by us, but in terms of the cultural conversation, it will have moved on. And I mean, my God, look, guys, basically, and I'm talking to everyone on The Expanse here. I mean, basically, you've given yourself a week, because then everything is going to get onto Ruse of Soywoker, which is just a terrible travesty, a train wreck.
And Christmas.
Yes, yeah, but if you had released it weekly, then okay, let the flurry go with Rise of Skywalker, and then it would have subsided, and then you would have gotten back again.
And you know what I would have been doing, and I'll still do this on my Rise of Skywalker review and anything else this Christmas. I'd be all, hey, by the way, watch The Expanse.
Right.
And I'll still be doing it, but you would still be on. And it would be, again, a cult. When a show is on at the same time every week, that means everybody's watching it. And then when the show's over, then everybody's talking about it. And then people will come to YouTube. Doomcock and I had 24,000 people in a live stream at one point for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So as your show grows and gets momentum, we're talking it up. And again, I have total faith in you guys. You've made a great show, and I haven't even seen it, but I know it's great. And I would love to talk about it every week. Of course, there's selfish reasons, but it's going to work because I've seen it work. Why do you think The Mandalorian's releasing weekly? Why do you think Disney Plus decided to go weekly? Because they know that they've read the data, and it's better. Baby Yoda, people are talking about the Mandalorian would be a memory already. And now it's going to get talked about through January. And believe me, the Mandalorian, it can't even carry the jockstrap of Expanse if it had a jockstrap.
No, it's not worthy. It's not worthy.
Not even close.
It's a joke, man. All they've got is Baby Yoda, and this stuff is classic. This is epic science fiction of the like television has not seen before, honestly. And it's the best that has ever been on television, and it's just going to be consumed in a mad orgy of, you know, viewer satisfaction over the next few days. So it'll stretch out for a week or even a week and a half, but then it's going to get drowned by all the noise from that garbage that Lucasfilm is going to put out. And by the way, it seems that a lot of the leaks were true. So a lot of my reporting was spot on from my sources, but I'll rub it in later, assholes. We're here to celebrate the Expanse, and
the show that none of these shill channels have been talking about at all, by the way, because they can't get anything for it, you know. And I don't want anything in return. Nobody from the Expanse talks to me. They used to. They don't anymore. That's fine. I don't care. I still love your show, and I don't want anything in return. The only thing I would want in return is release it weekly. And this is something that I've seen fans, a lot of fans have wanted this because they want the show to succeed. They're willing to wait. You know what? You're waiting a month and a half. Then again, you can binge it. This show would be one of the biggest shows if it releases weekly. And you know what? Same with The Boys. But I think this show was something much more special than The Boys. And I love The Boys. Okay. For Christ's sake, I'm in the comic. I know the guy who created it, but this show is something special. Like it could be the next Game of Thrones. It's got all the right ingredients. The only thing was it was on Sci-Fi, and I guess we should be grateful that they gave it the green light. But now
absolutely.
And it needs to grow, though. It's still as much. Amazon's done a great job promoting it over the last year. I'm not complaining about that, but they still need to grow an audience. They still need to get much, much bigger to be able to afford a budget like this. Now we're in the streaming wars, and Jeff Bezos might like it and has a lot of money, and I don't know all the ins and outs of that. All I know is I want this to have 10 seasons, and I think the only way it really can is if it's weekly. And I know Naren Shankar said they're going to revisit that for season 5, so I hope they do. I
think it's really important. It is absolutely vital to the growth of this show. And the thing is, I mean, look, Amazon's got deep pockets. I know that. And I just pray to God that this is a passion. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're misguided. Maybe Jeff Bezos is a huge fan, and just by God, he's going to go ahead and do this show no matter what. Maybe we just don't know, in which case, binge away. I mean, you know, William Randolph Hearst was a ruthless businessman and rapacious, but in all of his paper, he was the model for Citizen Kane, by the way, in the film. It was William Randolph Hearst with his publishing empire. But one thing that Hearst had as a passion was a little comic strip called Crazy Cat by George Harriman, which is, to my way of thinking, the single greatest comic strip of all time. It is a work of superlative genius. And even when other papers in the chain said, well, people don't get the jokes and it's weird and it's odd, Hearst didn't give a damn. And he kept like that strip alive as long as the creator was alive. You know, I mean, he was committed to it. So maybe Bezos is that kind of visionary, and God bless him if he is. But yes, if you want to expand the audience, for God's sakes, please make this happen. And I want to indict the so-called shill sites, all the so-called pretenders that we call the SJWs out there. You know, we call them that because they're not really progressives. They're not really concerned with making the world a better place, because if they were, they would be promoting this show relentlessly, because it walks the walk. It doesn't just talk the talk. It presents a future where it is colorblind and sex blind, and there is no nonsense about race anymore. It's all about where you're from. There will always be divisions among human beings. You know, if you're a Mars dweller, if you're a belter, if you're, inner, an earther, those are the divisions, but nobody is racially fixated anymore. Nobody questions, why is drummer in charge because she's a woman? Or, nobody calls Naomi Nagata Mary Sue because We buy that she is excellent because they show us she's excellent. And the actress sells it and the writing sells it. And I don't like, we have like same-sex couples on the show. No big deal whatsoever. This is a vision of a future that is damn near utopian in terms of the very racial and sexual issues that these phony posers pretend to care about. If they cared about it, they would be supporting this show, because this show shows that what a great future we could have in terms of letting go of these prejudices of the past. And they don't make a big deal about it. They don't virtue signal it. They don't like say, oh, how noble and wonderful we are. They just present it as matter of fact, and they show you what that future could look like. So all those phonies out there, that's why you're despised. That's why you're mocked, because you don't really stand for anything. If you did, you'd be behind this show.
Yeah, they can't get anything out of it. That's why.
Right.
It's not big enough. They can't use it as a platform for selfish reasons. And that's what happened to Star Trek. That's what happened to Star Wars. That's what happened to Doctor Who. I mean, this show is just a show. You remember those? Remember TV shows that tried to entertain you and show sophistication and you know, and as I realized that in the world of the Expanse, they find new ways to hate each other, and it's great. It's I mean, great as far as entertaining. And the stakes are high, and they're never higher this season. Believe me, you're going to see stuff you haven't seen in any previous season of the Expanse. It's gonna get crazy, and I look forward to it. I look forward to visually seeing it, and
absolutely.
And I wonder if they're going to go back to their old format of not going through an entire book in one season. They would go through like 3/4 of it, which is I loved it. I thought it was great. Like the first book ended in at season or episode 5 of season 2. So the episode Home is the end of Leviathan Wakes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now they mix in a little of the other book because Avasarala, they just have to do some mixing up with some characters.
Sure.
I'll just say that. And they did that with this. The one thing the show has done brilliantly is Ashford. I am all about freaking Ashford.
Oh,
great.
Man.
Wow, what a great character.
Dude, that's one thing I want to say about why this is such great writing, is because they don't have villains on this show. They really don't. They have people that are acting consistently with their best beliefs and guesses, and sometimes they're wrong, and so they come off as villainous. But in general, I think that everyone on the show is a richly nuanced characterization, and even the worst villains, like Clarissa, right? At the end of season 3, who was hell-bent on kill Holden. Well, she saves everything at the end in an act of redemption. When, Ashford was going to say fire on them, and she, basically shuts down the reactor and basically saves the whole deal. I love that. But you're right. Ashford is fantastic. Drummer is fantastic. The way they interact is really good. There are no villains on this thing. There are only human beings doing the best they can.
Yes. Well, everybody's got proper motivation. Okay?
Yes.
There's not.
Sometimes they're deeply wrong and messed up and doing bad things. But I don't count them as villains per se. They are antagonists, perhaps, but they're acting in good faith within their own characters. That is what is so fascinating about this show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get something like the proto-molecule. That's what people would do. I mean, they would do what they did in this show, especially 300 years in the future. And something that advanced, they would, and they would be able to rationalize it too. They're like, hey, this is for the greater good of humanity. If we have to sacrifice, if you got to break a few eggs to make some omelets, you got to do that. And that's something we would do now. We will do in the future. So I buy it completely.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to do, Gary, is I'd like to just broadly just say, highlight, like you were about Ashford, any performances that we wanted to note. Then I'd like to go ahead and get to the super chats here. and then I want to go ahead and do spoilers.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
So anyone who did a super chat doesn't want to hear spoilers can get that out of the way, and then they can leave, and then we'll do the spoilers. Sound good? Because we really want to talk this over. I mean,
yes.
I mean, we won't go into extensive, but I mean, I would like to be able to talk.
I'll try. Well, I might.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what's going on. I have not seen beyond episode 1. I think Mrs. Nerdrotic would leave me if I did that. So I got to watch the rest of it with her.
I know it. Musa's descendant in the chat says, well, technically there is a villain, LOL, Jules Pierre Mao. No, I don't know that he's a villain per se. He's the antagonist, but he was seeing that this potential for human expansion into the universe, the adaptability of humans, and really the future of human evolution. Yes, I mean, he was motivated by corporate greed, but I think also he realized that, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's once the US government discovered about the atomic bomb, it's not like they said, okay, we won't use this, and then nobody will ever use this against us. It just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that Jules Pierre Mao was a simple villain?
No, he's not a simple. He was a titan of industry, and he probably thought he's not a good person. I wouldn't want to like hang with him, but
right.
Everything we're using right now, my webcam, my computer, the cameras they're using for the Expanse, the iPhone. That all came from innovation that probably exploited somebody. I just want to let you know, nothing in our streets, our pavement, our civilization. People got bloodied. People got stepped on. It sucks, but here we are. I mean, this is how things move. That's what humanity is. We try to do it less and less as each generation grows, but that's the way it is. So, but he's still, I would say he's an antagonist.
He is an antagonist. I mean, Musa's descendant is saying, well, Pierre Mao was turning kids into alien hybrids, Overlord, LOL. Well, of course, I mean, he's doing evil things. But I guess what I'm saying is that these are human beings with complex motivations. I think that Jules Pierre Mao was able to abstract this to some extent. I mean, a lot of evil is simply not really facing up to what you're doing, right? I mean, it's easy to, push a button and have people executed halfway across the globe. It's another thing to actually pull the trigger yourself. And when he went to the base and he saw what was going on and he saw the kids and everything, he kind of had second thoughts and he said, well, we're shutting this thing down. It's just not working.
And that's changed. I mean, they humanize. The show humanizes the characters a little more than the books do. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, I think the books are more kind of a space opera, really. I mean, isn't it? And this is evolving into something more. With all due respect to James S.A. Corey, I mean, great books, but I'm just saying that I really love this show. And yes, we definitely have antagonists, and we have people that are, doing evil.
But it's not.
But they have motivation. No. They're not out of just pure sadism or something like that.
Yeah.
It's properly motivated, as opposed to, say, an AI that wants to gather all the information about being an AI because it wants to be an AI and needs to learn how to be the AI that it is that enabled it to. You don't get that kind of crap in this show. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't get something. I don't even want to get around with that. Yeah. Having a desire means you're conscious. You're conscious. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a conscious decision.
A toaster can't desire.
I know.
If a toaster desires, it's no longer a toaster. It's something else. So there you go. Yeah. So overall, I'd like to say that I don't know his name on the show yet, but the guy who played Owen in Torchwood is fantastic in this.
Murtry.
Murtry. He was great in a brief time in Game of Thrones. For some reason, I guess it's his face or his manner or something, he often plays brutish, kind of scary individuals. Well, he's not lacking in intensity on this one, I can tell you that. Other standouts, well, who doesn't? Abasarala has some fantastically funny lines. As
She
always,
can drop her F-bombs, which is
oh good. Yeah, no problem with the F-bombs anymore. So far, no nudity or excessive violence, but that may come. Who knows? Of course, I always love seeing Miller in any capacity. He's one of my favorite characters because I have a love of hard-boiled detectives, and I just love this show. God, I love this show. Any standouts for you before we go to the super chats?
Just Ashford. I'm forgetting the actor's name. I'm so terrible. Now I'll look.
He is so good,
but he is like becoming my. I like him as much as I like Miller. To be honest with you.
Wow.
I hope. And it looks like he's a hybrid of a couple of characters from the book, and I don't know if this change was conscious or something they did while they were writing that, and because Ashford was supposed to be a bad guy, just a straight up bad guy, and that's one of those characters that he was in the books. He was kind of petty and weak. This guy is a full-fledged character that I didn't see coming from Ashford, and I think they made him a hybrid of a couple characters, and I can't wait to see what they got in store for him, and I hope they don't kill him or anything, and that would be great because he's an unknown for us book readers, because this is not the Ashford we read in the books. So where he goes from here, who knows? The way these books are structured, I'm not going to spoil any plots, but what they do as they go on is you follow. They're written in a similar form as George R. Martin does with the Song of Ice and Fire. So it's first person perspective, told through, and each chapter is told through somebody's perspective. The first book was told through Holden's perspective and Miller's perspective, and then they add a character as each book goes on. Bobby is added, but there's only one book where you get the entire crew's perspective. You don't get in Amos's head or Naomi's head or Alex's head until later. So it's not until the fifth book where you're in their head. So you're seeing everything from Holden's perspective for the first 5 books, and only him for the crew of the Rocinante. And then they add these other characters. So
that is complex. That is a complex writing challenge. And if any of the writers or producers of this show are listening, I want to say thank you. I think you're doing a marvelous job. I wouldn't change a thing other than the marketing, but that's not your deal. So,
one thing. And this, again, I have two. My other one wasn't really an official complaint. Season 3 is a little rushed, but I still love the hell out of it. It's still probably the best.
I do too.
Don't have Kevin Smith recap your show, please. That was so cringe. There is a YouTuber out there called Alt Shift X. He is a great YouTuber. He did Game of Thrones recaps, and he took on your show. Looks like you sponsored him. Ask him to do it for you guys. Really?
Well, better yet, ask us to do it.
Well, you could ask Doomcock. I don't know. Listen,
I would love
Kevin
to do
Smith.
It.
I mean, Kevin Smith. He's not the king of the nerds, and he doesn't know shit about the Expanse. Doomcock knows shit about the Expanse. I do. But I mean, like, honestly, Alt Shift X, he's got 1 million subs. He's a class act. If you can't get Doomcock, then get one of these two guys, please. Do not get Kevin Smith to do it again. It was terrible.
No, that's not a criticism of the show, but yes, I agree with you. I agree.
Well, no, but this is how people are getting, like, maybe that's their first taste of the Expanse, and they got some stoner who's never watched the show before. Come on.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the same thing with Chris Hardwick. I'm sorry. He was cool before he started shilling for every damn AMC show that came along. And no.
There's 1,000 Expanse fans. You could have picked a Belinda or somebody off of Twitter, would have done a better job.
Absolutely. And I would love to interview any of you guys that would like to come on the show or come on the Inquisition, whatever. You would be very welcome. All right, I'm going to get to these super chats because they've been waiting, and then we'll get to some spoilers. Sound good?
Good.
All right, brother. Adam Child with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Adam. And actually has a $2 super chat as well. And I'll follow that up as well. Thank you, Adam, for both of those. He says, thanks for letting the world know that The Expanse is back. The show is beautifully shot, looks great in 4K. Oh, I'm jealous that you have 4K. I don't. And the music is wonderful. Y'all are the best. Have a great show. Hail the fandom. Hail Adam Child. It is a gorgeous show. The music is fantastic. I've got to get the soundtrack. He also says, Batwoman kills Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
Proof of the exozone. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm probably going to do a video on it tomorrow. I have to watch the episode. But yeah, Batwoman kills Kevin Conroy's Batman. God. And I heard about that last night. I almost broke something. Such a joke. So everybody's hating, for one, except for the full shills out there. Everybody's hating Christ. It's terrible. I watched 5 minutes of it. It's a joke. It's Glee actors wearing costumes, and again, you compare it to something like this. Like this is television. This is a television for adults, people with a brain. And listen, I don't want to sound. I am a big dummy. I've been kicked out of 3 high schools. I love the show. I want a show that's smarter than me, that makes me look stuff up. This is that show. This is everything I look for in science fiction. Is this show? I don't need Star Wars anymore. I really don't. I don't need Star Wars or Star Trek because I got The Expanse.
Holy shit. So you're telling me, and y'all are telling me, that this pathetic, sad shell of a show on CW symbolically wanted to kill Kevin Conroy, who was Batman on perhaps the greatest incarnation ever of Batman, the animated series, which was the pure essence of Batman perfection. I mean, I love The Dark Knight. I love Batman Begins. I mean, there's a decent number of great Batman stuff out there.
Paul Dini, Bruce Timm are that is the best version of Batman since Bob Kane and Bill Finger, without a doubt.
That's right.
Denny O'Neil. Maybe Denny O'Neil, but no, Paul Dini and Bruce Timm are just, that's it. I mean, that's Batman. You can't equal that.
If they'd have had the money, it would have been the equivalent of the Fleischer Brothers Superman, without a doubt. I mean, which is gorgeous,
which is what it's based on. Yeah. So,
I mean, oh my God, the opening sequence is one of the best opening sequences. Well, it's the best opening sequence of a cartoon ever, I think.
Oh my God. Yeah. I watched it. Remember when it premiered on prime time? It premiered on prime time on a Friday night at 8 p.m. on the brand new Fox network. I remember watching it. I was, let's just say I was a captive viewer. Good. I was a captive viewer. So we'll just say that. And it was, it was
so good, Gary. And you're telling me that they wanted to symbolically impact that vision of Batman, make a point of killing Kevin Conroy, to repudiate, to replace, to undermine, to symbolically emasculate Batman the animated series
to Batman, and say she is the Bat of the future. That's what. And again, I thought the people were in chat trying to have fun with me because I don't usually lose it. Right? I don't get that mad. I got so mad, and I was trying to be cool.
This is the first I've heard of this.
Safe. Yeah. Oh my God. So it's David Strathern. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but this is the guy who plays Ashford. Sorry to. This guy is great as Ashford, by the way. He is great. So. I don't have a hat on, but hat off to you, sir.
Yes. Well, there isn't a single performance on this show that I would say is subpar. I mean, at worst, you get small parts that are.
He was in LA Confidential. That's right. He was in LA Confidential. That's where I knew him from.
Okay.
Love that movie.
Great stuff. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna.
Dude,
I'm here to celebrate The Expanse, so I'm not going to. Yeah, but this has to be addressed. So
oh God, yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna nail this. Batman was probably the first thing I ever loved as a kid,
and I had one on the Inquisition
where I got nothing but Batman stuff. Yep. And for them to to desecrate that in the name of some kind of bullshit woke crap. It just, it's like To Kill Him. It's not. How about this? You know what? How The Expanse would do a Batwoman show. The writers on The Expanse, they would actually write a great scripts for this character, make her three-dimensional, make her not not perfect, make her struggle like folks in The Expanse struggle, because they're real human beings. They're well fleshed out stories. And then I wouldn't have a problem in the world with it. They wouldn't do bullshit like The Expanse. They're not having like some ship that looks very much like the USS Enterprise get blown up in a battle trying to say, oh, we're better than Star Trek, or something that looks like the Orville and throw shade at the fucking Orville. Their writing speaks for itself. They don't have to belittle anything else. They don't have to minimize the culture, the great culture that came before. They simply step up to the plate on their own merits. They make a work of genius, and that's their statement. And I respect that. That is, if only there were more talented people in Hollywood that would emulate that model, we would be basically doing happy live streams all the time.
Yeah. They don't rely on little buzz phrases so people will tweet it out on social media.
No.
Like, like I'm the future bat now, or yum yum. It's like like the Expanse is classy. That's it. It's just classy, and it's not disposable garbage. Disposable, forgettable. This is classic storytelling that, I'll be able to watch this in 10 years and enjoy it just as much.
I'm going to watch it the rest of my life. Yep. You never get tired of it. Never.
Oh, I have Prime, and I will buy this on Blu-ray. I will buy the soundtracks. I will talk about this all the time. This will be my most recommended show, period, forever.
Yeah.
Until I can't see it going wrong. That's why I was so happy when I saw this episode. I told you, I texted you. I'm like, everybody was worried. It was like, is The Expanse going to fall victim to this 2019 crap? And it really hasn't. It really won't. I really believe that they know what kind of audience they have.
Yes.
And they want as many people as possible to watch this show. You don't want to make yourself a small show. Listen, they need a bigger audience. They do. And I hope we can help with that somehow. But honestly, if they just keep making good stuff, it should happen.
The way that the writers of Star Trek Discovery would do an episode of The Expanse is they'd get into some kind of big thing, and Holden would be, in control. And then Naomi would like step up and smack him and knock him out of the chair and countermand his orders and save the Rosinante from his obviously misguided command, and then make some crack about, a woman's work is never done or something.
Yeah,
in other words, they would have to elevate her, not by dint of the great writing and her established abilities and her humanity, but she'd have to basically put someone else down in order to look better. That's the modus operandi of these people inserting politics into everything. The Expanse speaks for itself. The writing is superb, and there is no politics. There is just superb narrative, superb acting, and commitment to greatness.
Yep.
That's what
there's allegory. There's major allegory in this. And it's something you got to kind of pay attention to, because they talk about it, like this is supposed to be kind of like the Gold Rush days, or the colonial days, colonization of America. Listen, some of the creatives of the show refer to that as the invasion of North America, which I guess technically, it depends. It depends on where you go to school and stuff. But that's what it's supposed to be. But what they at least do is they show all sides. I'm not going to say both sides, because the both sides is so much of what's going on right now. It shows all sides of an argument, and it's everybody's got ugly sides. Everybody does. So nobody comes out clean in this. That's where it mirrors Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones, the one thing that show does, besides truly, I don't want to say subverting expectations. It just gives you something you don't expect, but it's a different type of storytelling. But what they do is they show good men and women in service to bad people.
Yes.
And I think that's compelling as hell. So
I do too. It's a beautiful show. Let's get on with the super chats here, and then we can get into some detailed spoiler discussions, which I think will be a lot of fun. All right. So we've got Psycho Dwarf 9 with a $20 super chat. Hail, Legionnaire Psycho Dwarf 9, who says, "My liege, I crave a boon. You have but to ask, Psycho Dwarf 9." He says, "It is worthy that you do what you do. We support you, but there is another task. SJWs breathe fear, drink poison, sit on their keyboards, and ree. We should answer with 10,000 small kindnesses." I agree, Psycho Dwarf 9. We should, too often we return this kind of hatred with hatred, but I guess that I would like to, at some point, give them love, the 10,000 small kindnesses that you say, Psycho Dwarf 9. And I guess what I need to do is basically say, watch The Expanse 10,000 times. Although that would be 10,000 large kindnesses, because I point people to The Expanse every day. Somebody says, I started watching The Expanse because of you, and thank you.
yeah,
And I thank them. I say, thank you for listening. Thank you for heeding me and knowing that I wasn't talking crap. It makes me so glad when I guide people to The Expanse. I wish I could do it more. I don't know how. I don't know what else.
That's the one thing that makes nerds special. That really, we love to share. When we find something good, we're passionate about it, and we want to share it with it. We don't want to keep it to ourselves.
No.
Like when I find a good show, I find a good movie, or if you do, I mean, I want to hear about it. I'm going to tell you about it until you see it. And I've been turned on to so many good things just from the chat alone. Hey, I would have never have tried Farscape. I freaking love Farscape.
Right.
Love Farscape now. And I didn't, I just did, for some reason, I didn't dip in when it was on the air. It's too bad. But yeah. And so I want to tell everybody about this because we have to cover the bad. And there's a reason we have to do that, because what Doomcock and I are doing is actually working. Didn't expect it to, but maybe you did, but I didn't. And we need to keep doing it, because maybe it'll make entertainment better, and entertainment gets better, then we're not squabbling as much. And because the world is divisive enough, we don't need Hollywood going out there and making it worse. But that's what they've been doing. They've
throwing
been flat up
gasoline
and
on
doing
the
it.
fire.
Yep. And it's because they've been having a little temper tantrum, and I think they're starting to wake up to how much they've played into this. People like to blame Doomcock and I for bringing it up, and no, we're just bringing it up. I mean, go look at my Twitter feed, go look at Doomcock's Twitter feed. How many political statements do you see on our Twitter feed?
I don't make them. All I comment on is their impact on pop culture, but I take I don't advocate any particular kind. I view extremism on both sides of the spectrum as the enemy here.
Yep.
I mean, really, it gets in this extremism on the alt-right and the SJW woke left. I mean, it limits dialogue. Yep. And it substitutes sloganeering and empty accusations and virtue signaling and paranoia for rational discussion. And I'm all about critical thinking. And thank you, Psycho Dwarf 9, for that. Dave Bob is here with a $2 super chat. Hail, Dave Bob. He says, "I'm just glad we have something that's well written." Amen. That's all I want. That's really all I ask. My God, even if there's flawed production, flawed effects, even some flawed acting, if something's well written, that's the key.
Doctor Who. For first 55 years, it was, well, not now, but Doctor Who, had the worst sets and some questionable acting, but it was still fun. It was because it was well written. It was really well written. In a lot of cases, well acted, very well acted.
absolutely was. Stone Loki with $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Stone Loki. He says, great first episode. Can't wait for tomorrow. Yes, Stone Loki. I can't wait either. And I can't wait to binge this thing. Hey, it's out there. I might as well binge it, right? What
It's
can I
on,
say?
yeah. You can get all of it now.
Genie's out of the bottle. I'm going to binge
I
the
wonder
hell
why
out of it.
I'm glad they decided to do it early. That's nice. That was cool.
It caught us with our pants down, but shit, I was delighted. It was like Christmas came early. It's like getting to open our presents on Christmas Eve. Thank you, Expanse. Thank you, the Expanse producers, the Expanse writers. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, Amazon on Prime. God bless all of you guys. You have pulled off a miracle, and you can quote me on that. Derek McManus. Hello, Derek, with a £2 super chat. Thank you, Mr. McManus. He says, tell Mr. Doomcock Kathleen McManus says thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. I sang an Irish song for Kathleen, my last Inquisition. I sang Danny Boy for her, and I'm glad Kathleen heard it, Derek. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm very glad for that. Nice. Mexican Iron Man with a $19.99 super chat. Hail Mexican Iron Man, who says pizza money for late night virtual team viewing of The Expanse with our review tonight from our Overlord DVD. The tide turns to quality. Finally, on the eve of wokeness, hail this amazing group of people on this chat. Yes, our chat is the best on YouTube. You guys are fabulous. I thank you all for being here on such short notice. You guys are fantastic. And among those fantastic people, none excel more than Mexican Iron Man.
Hey, you know what came out? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mexican Iron Man, you're brilliant, and he is the inspiration for my biography, Crisis on Infinite Tijuanas. Did you know? I'm looking at what's trending on Twitter right now. There's something that happened from a major franchise today. Oh my God, that picture of Tom Constantino is freaking hilarious on Twitter.
Oh, that's awesome. Hello, Tom. You're probably not
funny.
Listening, but if you are, man, I've been meaning to get in touch with you. I'm sorry, yes, I haven't.
Tom, I'll be in LA next week. I was supposed to go this weekend, but I'm going next weekend. By the way, Solo lost money. So I'm looking to see what's trending on Twitter. And so again, a major franchise, not The Expanse, not Star Wars, not Doctor Who, released something today. Does anybody know what it is? Anybody?
No.
It's short, and it rhymes with
an Ewok?
Drek.
Oh.
So yeah, I heard a short trek drop today.
Really?
I don't know if it actually did. I heard it did. And yeah, and look, it's not trending on Twitter. Not at all.
No, really?
So upset about this.
God, I didn't hear a thing about it. And I kind of follow these things. I guess maybe, Gary, nobody's talking about it. And I mean, maybe we don't even give a shit enough to even have been paying attention to when it would drop.
No. Grimes is trending. Grimes is trending, but not Star Trek. Now, I'd like to see The Expanse trending, everybody. Can we get this going?
Oh, I know, man. Well, we could have whipped by the end of the run. We would have had it trending one way or the other. I mean, damn it. Well, next season. There's
a short.
I mean, we'll keep at it, but I mean, there's a critical mass thing. It's a building thing. It's a word of mouth. It's a momentum, and it's hard. I mean, totally it's like inertia. I mean, you can't just kick it from 0 to 60. I mean, you need a lot of pull to do that, and I mean, not even we have that kind of pull. But the quality is there. The quality is such that it should be shouted from the highest mountain. And it just sucks. It just sucks that everyone doesn't know. I mean, there's all this garbage out there, trash. And here's this gem, this fucking masterpiece that is criminally underregarded, underknown, underpublicized. And it's nothing wrong with Amazon. It's just word of mouth is the best advertising. And we need time to generate that. That's the problem. Oh, well. You still there, Gary? Hello? Has something gone wrong?
It went wrong.
Oh, there you are.
Something happened. I don't know what.
Okay, now you hear me?
But I heard you the whole time. Yeah, it dipped
That's
out
weird.
for like a second. Yeah, that was weird. Sorry about that. But yes.
I was waiting for you to chime in and I was adding.
No, I was totally ignoring you. No.
I was like, uh-oh.
Sorry. It was CBS.
I'm afraid that Gary's been abducted again, and he's going to come back and he's going to forget how to hook up his propane and propane accessories. He's just going to be interested back in those alien funny books and all that kind of silly stuff that he used to do before he grew the beard. Became a man, kinda.
There's a reason that beard grew. I don't know what happened. I lost some time and my ass hurts a little bit, but
I tell you what, now you know the pain of Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey got abducted. Damn right he did. Let's move on. Enclave Soldier with $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Enclave Soldier says, was the episode good? No, Enclave Soldier.
It was terrible. It's the worst television ever put on. It's super woke and it's awful. No, it's the best fucking show on TV.
It was the worstest ever.
Yeah. It's the best. Mark C, I saw your super chat. Yeah, I can't find the original art. I'm gonna have to scan it tonight, but I'll put it on Twitter. I'll DM you after this live stream. Thank you, Mark C. Mark C's awesome.
Yeah, Mark C is awesome. Mark C is absolutely awesome. Thank you, Mark C. Good to have you here, brother.
Hey, did you see the Rise of Skywalker trailer? Weren't we supposed to get the last trailer about 18 trailers ago? So did you see the newest one that confirmed more of the leaks?
No.
The giant cube and like all the Sith living, yeah, I'll show you the trailer after this. And
okay,
it just, I mean, dude, it's like Han Solo says in The Force Awakens, it's true, all of it. The leaks are true.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did not represent that they were. I just reported them, but
hey, man, people reach out to you. And you know what? The people who were criticizing you know this. Okay, they know that people reach out to you. These people who are criticizing you have had people reach out to them before. So disingenuous doesn't even begin to describe it. But I've got something for them on the Inquisition. I do.
Excellent. It's coming Sunday, folks.
It's coming Sunday.
Check out the Inquisition this week on Gary's channel. So
I'm going to sidestep one of my rules, and I'm going to talk about other YouTubers.
Well, you can. Well, also, the final episode, if you want to call it that, I would call it rectal deposit.
Yeah, that's a good description. I think that one.
So. A plop, fizz. Oh, what a disgrace it is.
It's dumping on audiences everywhere.
Absolutely. Plopping down in a theater near you. Musa's Descendant with 2 $4.99 super chats in a row. Thank you, Musa's Descendant, who says, ? I thought it won't be released till the 13th, tomorrow. If it's in Amazon now, I got to check you guys out after I watch this masterpiece. Excellent, Musa. Excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful, dude. I didn't know either. He said, also, had to donate again just to tell Overlord that I agree. The Expanse is the best show out now and one of the best ever made. So many people sleeping. I know, they don't know. Well, it's a little treat for the faithful. The word spread on the grapevine, and people, if you build it, they will come. And I'm excited.
Yeah. No, I imagine you and I will be talking about it like on Twitter and Facebook, or I'm on Facebook sometimes, and YouTube constantly this weekend. Like constantly. I won't shut up about it. Trust me.
No, absolutely. Mexican Iron Man with a $4.99 super chat. Hail, Mexican Iron Man, who says, I want to know how the hell Nerdrotic Gary was able to hold in what he knew all these months ago. Gary is a superhero. Yeah, well, Gary keeps his damn mouth shut, as well he should. I mean, he's not going to violate a deal, and neither would I. I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never break a confidence ever. If somebody told me something in confidence, I'm not going to share it. It wouldn't even matter if it was like Alex Kurtzman himself, you know, the devil incarnate. If he called me up drunk one night and confessed everything, I would be honor bound not to say anything.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I screwed up your favorite show. How can I make it right? What do I have to do? What do I have to do?
I'm sorry, dude.
I'm sorry.
Great. And I'd just be like, you know, this would be gold, but I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to say a word.
I wish I had the budget for skits. I really do.
I know. It would be great.
Floating around in my head, but
also I got a message. I didn't do anything funny with this stream, did I, Gary?
I don't think so. Did you?
It was like something about like Bionic Belly Button was saying something about I said it was for members or something. It's not for members. I didn't say that, did I? And we don't have just members here. Nah, I don't even have that many members.
No, it's public. I can see it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know what that is. All right. Anyway, thank you, Bionic Belly Button. I just don't understand what you meant there.
Hi, Bionic Belly Button.
Yeah. Nee. Let's continue. Where am I? Now I got confused because I was looking at damn it. Well, sometimes this happens. Okay. Solar Chaos with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Solar Chaos. Says The Expanse is a well done show. I'm glad to see that it's still going strong. Absolutely. And I hope we have years and years and years left of this show because it is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. John Tonette with an 800 Hong Kong super chat, 800 Hong Kong dollar super chat. Thank you, John Tonette. Very generous of you, my Legionnaire and my friend, who says The Expanse, The Mandalorian, Rise of Shitwalker. Wow, that's kind of like de-evolution, right? It's kind of like from, Cro-Magnon to Neanderthal to, I guess, some kind of slime, primordial slime, amoeba, lungfish, perhaps, if you're being optimistic. Yeah. That's a good point, John.
It is.
Reverse evolution. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it very, very much. Nicholas Horton with a £2 super chat. Hail, Nicholas Horton, who says, I might just start watching The Expanse. Hail all. You've got to, man. You've got to. I mean, for God's sakes, get Amazon Prime. I'm telling you guys, I mean, I am not sponsored in any way by Amazon Prime. I pay for it. And it's a hell of a good deal. If you order stuff on Amazon, folks, you pay something like, I don't know, $100 up front for the year. But then, oh my God, damn near everything that ships on Amazon, if you order things, it's free.
Yeah.
And you get access to tons of programs on Amazon Prime. And also you get limited access to Amazon Music, which I absolutely love. So it is a bargain. If you shop a lot, it pays for itself, folks. It really does. And I love it. I wouldn't live without it. Destiny Captain. Hello, my Xanadumir with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Destiny Captain, who says, Merry Christmas to the Ministers of Mystery. Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Ministers of Mystery. We've got to do a Exozone soon, Maybe we can bump it up to next Tuesday or something. I don't know.
That would be good. Tuesday would be good for me. I mean, it's going to be we could do Tuesday. It's going to be really rough the next 3 weeks because, I mean, we're all busy and this is honestly, Star Wars has taken over our lives. And I know you and I have got some Star Trek to talk about. We've got all kinds of stuff because you know about Michael Chabon. And did you hear about that, Doomcon? Yeah. So,
yes. Yeah. He on the plus side, he's getting an adaptation of his book, which is how Hollywood says you failed. So yeah.
What are the dates? I'm sorry. What are the dates for Hanukkah this year? Does anybody know? I was about to say Happy Hanukkah, but I don't know when it is.
Isn't it like the 12 days of Hanukkah or something?
It's 8, I think. Sunday starts on the 22nd. Okay. But I'll still say Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Va Mishnaka.
That's good.
I know
Oy
this
vey.
one. My pronunciation is probably terrible. Havana Ranana Havana Ranana. All right. Paragon 23 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Paragon 23, who says, I know today is about the Expanse, but Disney is so worried about the fall of the Skywalker that they partnered with Fortnite for a special event.
What? You're kidding me.
Wow.
That
Partnered
is
with Fortnite for a special
desperate.
event.
Oh my God. They're gonna pull out all the stops to pull a Captain Marvel to try to fill up the theaters. I've been getting emailed screenshot after screenshot of empty theaters or half empty theaters for the fall of Skywalker or the rise of Palpatine, whatever we want to call it.
Yep.
And
I imagine they're not happy with us, but
no,
it isn't us.
Well, I think things are true. I mean, there's a New York Times article that came out yesterday where JJ and two of the cast members, Daisy Ridley and Jonathan Boyega, threw shade at Rianne, a little shade at Rianne Johnson. So I think there's some 4D chess going on that's Disney approved. And I mentioned it in a live stream, and other people have too, that even the shill Nerdist caught on to, like, it feels like that they're trying to throw shade on the last one, going, we're trying to make it right with this one. Basically saying that, okay, the fandom menace has been right all along, like we've been saying. We're not all the things that the Access Media said we were. Here we are. Doomcock and I are praising one of the most diverse shows on television, the best show on television, with a bunch of great, strong female characters. And they're just characters. They're not strong female characters. They're characters. They're realized characters that I believe could exist in a world that they have set up beautifully, perfectly. Bobby Draper, Naomi Nagata, played by Dominic Tipper. She is great. She is the perfect Naomi. I can't imagine anybody else as Naomi, even though she doesn't look like the one described in the book. She now is Naomi to me.
I even have a bit of a thing for her. Of course, I have a thing for Drummer too. Oddly enough, I love Drummer. I don't know. There's just something about her. God Almighty, Cara Gee.
Yeah, she was a little pregnant at the panel.
Don't tell me that.
She had a drummer bump going on.
She cheated on me.
She did. Well, maybe that's a little Dominion in there. Who knows?
Oh, nah. Sadly not. Nobody, no Dominion is drumming in there. I gotta tell you,
drumming away. And have you heard Cara Gee talk? I mean, it's like her voice, the way she changes her voice. Yes. Great.
Oh God, she's talented.
She is an actor. A thespian.
Fantastic. She really is wonderful. Thank you, Paragon 23. Fortnite. Well.
My kid played that like 2 years ago.
So you pronounce it Rianne, not Ryan?
I call him Rianne. It's Ryan, but I've been calling him Rianne for 2 years.
Like the Fleetwood song, Fleetwood Mac song.
Rianne. Yeah.
Riasshole.
Yes, there you go.
Riasshole. All right. Musa's Descendant with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Musa's Descendant, who says Avasarala is the definition of a great, powerful female character.
Yes.
And they don't push any SJW agenda on us as well. Naomi and Drummer too, of course. Yes, I think she was hilariously salty in this. She just chews the scenery. And man, this is her dream role. I mean, this is the best role she's ever had. I saw her as like the mom of a terrorist on 24. And I've seen her in other things. And Belarus. But no, this is her role. And she owns it. And she is glorious in it.
She is fantastic. She is
Dave
so
Bob, however, with a $2 super chat says, I don't care. I'm in love with Bobby Draper. Hail. Well, Dave Bob. Well, so Bobby. Well, very interesting, Dave Bob. Well, you just need to sing her Lukenbach, Texas, and she will fall for you instantly. You just wait. It'll happen. Hail Dave Bob. Stellar Heather with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Stellar. She says, so what you mean is this show does not need an enema. No, it does not. It is not full of shit.
It needs your full attention. Because it's that type of show. They make shows for you to, even Mecca said this, to look at your phone and they have an explosion every 5 minutes, kind of like a beat. So you can notice it and then look at that explosion or Baby Yoda. No. This is a story that you need to pay attention to. It's an overarching story. They're not episodic. There are 3 factions at play here, plus a 4th actually. And it is the Expanse. It expands every season, and you can learn lessons from it. A lot of it's based in real history. The science is fantastic. I'm no scientist, so I have no idea how accurate it is. It seems accurate though, and that's good enough for me. I buy into it. So there you go.
Absolutely, and I'm convinced of their integrity. I'm convinced that they've researched this stuff and they largely get it right. And that's not something you can really say for any other sci-fi show.
Integrity is a perfect word for the show. It's got integrity.
Narrative integrity. No doubt about it. Lady Gravemaster with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Lady Gravemaster, so much. Hail Doomrotic. Ecstatic about the Expanse. Binged it after hearing about it from you two. Gorgeous. It's the experience Star Wars used to be. Speaking of Star Wars, less than 14 hours until the global tweet storm. Are you excited for the secret hashtag to take on Roos of Soywoker? Yes. I need to go ahead and get that out there, folks. I've got we're gonna send out a tweet around 12 o'clock tomorrow. But I will get on that later. Thank you, Lady Gravemaster. And sorry, I've been AWOL today. I've been dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, and then this came up. So
out of nowhere. Yeah, I was just tweeting about. I like I said, I put up my live stream from 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, it was like the first video that got more than 10,000 views for me. I was so excited. I think I had like 1,000 subs, and I was like, this is great. But it sucked, I mean, it was. And I'm so glad it had a happy ending. But then somebody pops in and goes, it's on right now. I'm like, what? Huh? Huh? Then I message you immediately. I'm like, oh shit, we should review this.
Yes. Yes, we absolutely holy crap. I was blown away.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Lady Gravemaster. Yes, I'm glad you're watching it, and I will I will get that ball rolling right after the Inquisition. Sorry about that, Lady Gravemaster. We'll see if we can make that happen. Nicholas Horton with a £5, and I'll get you involved in that as well, Gary.
Awesome. I'm in. Well, yeah, whatever you need me to do, I'm there.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Nicholas Horton with a £5 super chat. Hail Nicholas, who says, I grew up watching Batman the Animated Series when I was a young kid. It's such a great show. It really is just the apotheosis of Batman. It is just the height of it. It's fantastic. So you will enjoy it, man. Oh yeah, you've already seen it. That's right. You said you grew up with it as a kid. I can never get enough of it. I've got like season 2 on DVD. I need to get the rest of them though. I'm tracking
the animated series. It's a glorious Blu-ray. The Blu-ray, yeah, it's fantastic. There's a collector's edition out there. I'll send you a link to it. I think it's a little cheaper now, but it's great. It's worth the money.
I need that. Yeah. I need that. Remember that episode? Almost Got Him. God, that was a great episode.
Oh, dude.
The girls sitting around talking about it.
That might be one of the best ones. My favorite one is
so clever.
Is the Robin one though, where Robin doesn't kill the guy who killed his parents. I'm blanking on the name now. That's my favorite episode.
That is fantastic stuff. Excuse me. Okay. Paragon 23 with a $2 super chat says, let the damage control begin. Poor Rise of Skywalker. Well, They've as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Jedi Bill 797 with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jedi Bill, who says, "Hail my overlord and Gary, you both rock." Thank you, Jedi Bill 797. So do you, sir.
Yes.
Some nobody with a $5 super chat. Hail some nobody says, "I often wonder what kind of drug or gambling addiction keeps bringing these legends back to ruin themselves." I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Picard in particular, Patrick Stewart, dude can't need the money, and dude has theater projects. I mean, he did that wonderful version of Macbeth that got filmed. That thing was fantastic. And he's taken cheesy roles as cartoony villains, and he's the poop emoji, and then a real life poop in Poop Card. So it's just it's not looking
and
good.
I know you're hearing exactly what I'm hearing about this show. Like it's not going to be good, folks. I'm sorry.
It is going to be. It's going to be so bad. And I'm just gonna I tell you what, man, I am angry about what they've done to Star Trek, and these people. And I don't want to call them, I want to call them something else, but I'm trying to use restraint these days. The writing on Star Trek Discovery and presumably on Picard is so substandard as to be almost by a different species than the writers in the writer's room of The Expanse. I mean, there is no comparison between a show that gets the science of inertia and space travel correct, and then a show that says there's sonar in space.
I know.
I would kill if you guys are out there. I would just love the Expanse writers, any writer on the Expanse. You can be anonymous. I don't know. I'll never report it. I'll never say a word, but I just would love to know. Did you all laugh your asses off when you saw sonar in space on Star Trek Discovery? I just love to know. If you could tell me that, I'd be a happy guy. Okay.
I think what happens is they have friends, right, working on each show, so they're not going to clown each other. But dude, they do. I think they secretly go.
No, well, there's still Schadenfreude.
Oh my God, yes, there is. And
I would never betray a confidence. I just want to know for myself, because they've made me suffer so much with their substandard writing. I would just like to know. I just like to know some other good writer out there laugh their ass off at that garbage.
They must. And Naren Shankar was at the New York Comic-Con panel, and he was asked about keeping track of canon, because they have to keep, especially in this show, in The Expanse, they have to keep track of so much. I mean, forget just the sets and everything, just the science of everything. And then, they're lucky they have Ty Frank and Dan Abrams there, who are James S.A. Corey, with the books, but then they have to keep track of just each character and Holden's cancer drugs and stuff, and all this stuff is because it's a big overarching story. They have to, they can't lose things. Like famously in Harry Potter, they kind of did away with the house elves, and it turned out being a huge mistake. They need to bring the house elves in later. And of course, every goddamn mistake they made in A Song of Ice and Fire with the Game of Thrones show by not bringing in Lady Horse Stoneheart and stuff. They're not making these mistakes with these shows. They're keeping track. So he was asked directly, like, what was hard? I'm paraphrasing here because he answered, it wasn't an exact question like this, but it was basically, what's harder? What was worse, the Star Trek canon or the Expanse canon? And Naren Shankar said, "Oh, the Expanse canon is so much more difficult, so much more." And I believe that.
Yeah, I do. From what you said, Gary, I mean, from the books,
and the people at Star Trek don't even bother trying. See, Naren Shankar is probably working his ass off on this. You know what? I bet you he works so hard on the Expanse. Like a lot of showrunners take on multiple shows, and maybe he can. But I bet you this show pretty much takes his entire life. And he probably likes that and stuff. And I don't want to speak for the man. Maybe he can do 5 shows at once. I don't know. But I think if you're running Star Trek, personally, that should be the only show you run. You should watch every episode multiple times. You should know it in and out. And when like when I don't consider myself a Trekkie or Trekker. I am a giant Star Trek fan, but I don't know. I'm not. Doomcock is like an encyclopedia. Okay, with episode titles, he could tell you when what happened. I've done way too many drugs and slept too much since then, but I've watched all the episodes multiple times, and I would dare say I know more than Alex Kurtzman and anybody running that show, except for the one I forgot her name, the one who wrote the Voyager books, who they obviously don't listen to at all.
Right.
So,
right.
and they shouldn't, like, I should not know more about Star Trek. I should not be able to catch things, like in the very first episode when a Klingon ship is cloaking. I'm like, wait a minute, hang on.
God. I know, and that was just so obvious and blatant. But even like little things like the holograms, like intership beaming, which they said was so risky in Day of the Dove, when the Klingons had invaded the Enterprise, having a goddamn Gorn skeleton when Kirk was the first one to encounter the Gorn.
Yep.
And of course having a goddamn Tribble there. It just no end to the appropriation of the achievements of greater shows, greater iterations of Star Trek, trying to say, oh, we were there first. Oh, we were there first. Oh, we were there first. That's what J.J. Abrams does all the time. In Star Trek and in Star Wars. I mean, basically Rey is gonna. Oh God!
Don't even.
Well, that's we don't want to even.
Yeah, exactly. And like the Expanse emulates a couple of shows. I mean, it's definitely got a Battlestar feel to it. It does.
Oh well, that's high praise because Battlestar Galactica is a masterpiece.
It is.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows ever.
But Expanse is that. I mean, it's its own show. It doesn't need to copy anything, and Star Trek shouldn't need to copy anything either, but it does. And I dare say Star Trek Discovery did copy the Expanse a little bit with the blue flakes and in the spore drive and stuff. Looked a lot like the proto molecule. I'm just saying, it looked a lot like it because it was.
I know. The one thing that they ought to copy, they didn't, which is Star Trek. They ought to basically fucking copy Star Trek, and they didn't. And they could have legitimately done that. That's called being adhering to canon and respectful and having the right tone. And all that any of these damn things ever had to do was be mediocre. Honestly, all Star Trek had to do was be mediocre, be middle of the road, be like Voyager. And after all that time, people would have said it was great, and I would have just been and I would have shut up about it. Yeah. Same thing with The Force Awakens. All it had to do was be middle. It just not be a carbon copy of A New Hope, for God's sakes. But no, they couldn't even do that. It's just, man, they went from literally like just taking the beats of the first script and replicating it to then The Last Jedi, which had no relationship to Star Wars and just basically crapped all over it. So they went from the extreme of being too slavish to be utterly disrespectful and destroying, never that, just down the middle. It's just insane.
It is. So what I have here, Doomcock, is the Rocinante. See, so it's in pieces right now. So this is from Jeff McKelvey, the 3D Trekker.
The 3D Trekker,
and he did this on Mrs. Nerdrotic's request. This is a Rocinante, everybody. You get to put it together, right? You can put it together.
Yeah,
it's got a little bass that plays the theme song if you press that little button.
I have one. And
yes,
you do too.
And I will assemble it for you all, but no, actually I can keep it unassembled. This is for a contest. If you have to watch our live stream on Saturday, there's a couple things you have to do. All right. To win.
Tell us how you win.
You have to tune in on Saturday. You have to comment on the video. You have to follow me. So we'll be on Doomcock's channel. So you got to comment on his video. You got to follow me on Instagram. And then Mrs. Nerdrotic and I will gather names and we'll affix a number to them and we'll draw it out of a hat and you could win the Rocinante just for watching us praise the Expanse season 4. And we've got one, there'll be one winner. And if it's international, that's okay. I mean, if it's a country, again, we'll ship it anywhere in the world. It's on me. So, I wish I could pass out a gazillion, but I doubt the makers of the show would enjoy that very much. But we got one that was 3D printed, and it's for somebody out there. So tune in Saturday, and I'll remind you, and you could possibly win.
Absolutely.
One of the coolest ships ever designed, to be honest with you. So,
it's wonderful. I have such a warm, loving feeling about that. And God, I just love that show. I love the ship. It's a beautiful design. And I guess we'll probably do it more towards the evening, so we have the day to binge the thing. So I think that's what we'll do, basically. I think that makes sense.
Sounds good. Yeah, that sounds great.
That's awesome. All right, let's continue on here so we can go ahead and get to our spoilers. Alfred,
sorry, hang on, Shadow Man. We kind of take a break between super chats. We'll go back to hitting the super chats in just a second. So thank you, Corey, for the super chat. We're not forgetting about anything.
Oh no, not at all. I've got to get them right now. Thank you guys for your patience. Alfred McKay with a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Alfred. Says, hello there, guys. Regarding the CW crisis, Burt Ward as old Dick Grayson walking Ace the Bat Hound was a cool 10 seconds. Holy crap. Cheers. Well, I have to watch that just to see that. Burt Ward as old Dick Grayson walking Ace the Bat Hound. That is Ace the Bat Hound. Wow. That's awesome, Alfred McKay. I did not know that. I better check that out. I love Batman and Robin. I really do.
Oh God, I have it on. I have the Blu-ray collection, and I'm really thinking about pulling the trigger on the Hot Toys Batman and Robin. Those are pretty cool. Kind of expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really good though. Oh my God, they're good.
You don't mean like those ones with the interchangeable hands and the bomb and?
No, it's like a Hot Toys 1/6 scale.
Because I thought they sold out with the cloth outfit, or
yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're you can get them on eBay still.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought they had sold out, and
they did from Hot Toys, but you can get them on eBay pretty much the same price.
Oh, at the same price, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I need them.
Oh,
I need them bad.
Damn straight. I'm right there with you.
Damn you for telling me that.
Sorry.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I heard.
I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be expensive.
Who else was in? God dang it. Robert Wool. Yeah, Robert Wool. Knox is in from Batman. 89 Batman is in the Crisis too. The reporter.
Really?
Yeah, he's in it too.
Nice.
Yeah. Too bad they screwed it all up.
Yeah. Oh well. Savage Rush 012 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Savage Rush, who says it's like they are purposely targeting everything today's men loved and cherished as children.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what
like they are. I mean, I know what you were saying, not mean to be disrespectful to that chat at all, but I mean, they are.
Yeah.
That is deliberate.
Definitely. I think it's incredible. It's the same thing as in a woke version of Expanse, Naomi slapping Holden out of the chair and taking command and then saying a woman's work is never done. They have to piss on. It's not just enough to excel on their own because they can't, because they don't have the talent or the quality. And so they have to try and do it by belittling things from the past. And and that's why they can't leave men anything, including their harmless entertainment, the old fantasies of my dad, from this, way back when, Sean Connery and stuff, right? That fantasy of masculinity where you could drink hard and punch harder and all the women would fall for you, and you dressed up in a tux and you were driving an Aston Martin and stuff. I mean, it's fairly dumb. It's fairly harmless, but they can't seem to just let that alone. And they want to go ahead and get at everything and leave not even a corner of the pop culture universe for boys. It's just the saddest thing.
No, it was all bad. We're going to take it from you. And the funny thing is, the thing they always projected on the male fans forever was, oh, we weren't allowed in these spaces. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. You could have come anytime. Nobody said you couldn't enjoy this stuff. Well, I didn't feel like I could. And then when they finally get in there, well, they act like they said we would. I mean, like would act. You use it. I've always made this analogy. It's like there's a marriage. More women are coming into genre, and that's great.
Yeah.
The more, the merrier. Fantastic. But it's like with some, not to all, hashtag not all, especially the SJWs, the NPCs. The regular folks are not like this. They are very accommodating, but the SJWs and the NPCs are like the girlfriend who moves in and wants to paint the entire house pink, and all your shit has to go into a closet that's in the garage. That's not living together. Okay, that's not working together, and that's kind of what's been going on. And they're doing it to make up for something that the fans didn't do. By the way, the fans didn't do all the shit that happened to women in Hollywood. That was executives. A lot of them still work there, and y'all should work that shit out behind the scenes, because what you're doing is you're pissing off your audience constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you are basically alienating a chunk of your audience. I mean, it's just
don't piss on the past. Yeah, don't screw up Luke Skywalker. You know what? Bring in Rey. Make her fantastic. Make us like her, please.
Right.
But don't
they
shit
didn't
on
do
Luke
it the right way. They
Yeah.
could have easily, organically had Rey be one of Luke Skywalker's students, and he could have like seen the good in her, the skill in her, and been working with her to bring it out and be the best that she could be. And then when it came time for Luke to go or whatever, I mean, she could have carried on, and we would have loved her, and she could have taken over and been the star of the show, and we wouldn't have said shit about it. Like we didn't say shit about Ellen Ripley in Alien, or we
would have rooted for her, that because she would be our connection to Luke.
Yeah.
She would be, but now she didn't. She felt they made her purposely separate for I'm sorry, for reasons that it was agenda behind
exactly
that. It was 100% agenda to not give her the regular hero's journey, because that was patriarchy or whatever the hell decision was behind that. I guarantee you it was J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy and their agenda. And now they're going to actually try that in the third movie. That's what I've heard, that they're going to try to give her the hero's journey at the end of the journey. Too goddamn late.
That hero has journeyed. It's done. And the reason that they couldn't do it is because Luke properly teaching Rey would have been mansplaining.
That would have been receiving power from a man, and we can't have that. We got to show that Rey can do it on her own. So they showed her on their own. They didn't show how she did it on her own, I'm sure. So I guess the galaxy far, far away is a very civilized galaxy where, the thing that rhymes with drape doesn't happen. All the criminals they have honor in these backwoods planets, and maybe they do. It's Disney now, so she survived on her own on a planet. We're just supposed to believe that, but that's JJ's storytelling. JJ thinks that, well, because she survived on her own, that means she's tough. We're not going to show you how. We just told you she survived on her own on a planet, so she's obviously tough. No, you didn't show me. I'm not convinced. What the Expanse does is convince you. Like Bobby Draper, I am convinced she's a badass. Why? Because they explain it.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I don't have to. Yeah, I mean, they don't just say, "Oh, she's the bestest ever." No, I mean, and we know that she's been in training. There's nothing improbable about Bobby Draper being awesome. She's trained to be that way. She's a Marine, a Martian Marine, for fuck's sake.
She's got a mech suit. And also in the book, and they try to mirror this as much in the show, she is Samoan. She's kind of a beast. She's supposed to be, I think she's 6'3" in the book and 240. Wow. Like huge. She's big, and she can she could take on dudes. But they don't overpower her or anything, and then when she's a soldier, like all Martians are in this like Iron Man suit, which is pretty cool. And she knows how to use it. That's all. That's it. And that's why they have her do it. And she steals her suit. So, and that's through season 3. I'm not, talking anybody about season 4, but, she's a believable character, and I would have loved to have believed in Rey. I would have. It's, way too late for that though.
It's not. It's too late. Might as well be clapping and saying, I believe in Tinkerbell. I do believe in fairies. Yep. Mexican Iron Man with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Says Doomcock. We were in Gary's chat last night, and when we told Gary about Batman, he screamed so loud, I thought he was going to pass a kidney stone. Ack.
I might have.
I'm just keeping it in. I don't want to get ranting on this live stream about the Expanse. I want to kind of stick to it, but that is fucking ridiculous. And there will be a reckoning.
Yep.
Okay. There will be a reckoning. I assure you of fucking that. I promise you there will be. Dustin Rogers with a $5 super chat. Thank you. Dustin says, thanks to social political crud, I understand safe spaces give us a toxic male station so we can have real and honest entertainment. Yeah, why don't we have toxic male stations so we can get together and talk about comics and James Bond and the stuff that toxic males like to talk about and just be left alone. Just leave us alone.
Yeah.
You know? Quit interjecting into every piece of entertainment that we love just because you hate us. Just because you hate us. That hate just gets played forward. You know, it just pays it forward, and then it comes around in a karmic wheel until we finally just stop it and live like the Expanse. Just live colorblind, sex blind, not constantly raking up the injustices of the past, which are real. But once you just bitterly dig those things up and put them in museums like in Wokeman, it just creates more divisions. It perpetuates seeing race and sex. We really want to stop seeing that. When we can banish it from our consciousness and just see each other as human beings, that is when we will have finally evolved. And that is when we will finally have some genuine social progress. I don't think we need social justice. I think we need social progress. Yep. And that's a difference, because justice implies that there's someone to be punished. That's the problem. And really, social progress means we move beyond these prejudices, beyond the need to punish, and we just move forward into the future hand in hand. That, I think, is the way to go.
Bravo.
Thank you, sir.
I need to shout somebody out in your chat. Okay?
Go for it.
The official Dougie J is one of my oldest friends. He's actually the reason I like Star Trek. He's the one who, you know, I watched it passingly, but he was the big Star Trek fan, and he got me into it when I was like 8. And he's in here, and he says Frankie Adams, who plays Bobby Draper, was also a boxer. She's also a boxer. So she is a badass. She's legit. And so is Doug. Doug is a legit nerd. Knows his Star Trek, knows his Star Wars. We used to geek out listening to soundtracks together. So what's up, Doug? How's it going?
Sweet.
Buddy? What's up, Doug? What's cooking? What's up, Doug?
Good to have you here. And Bugs Bunny likes you too.
Yeah.
Cool. What's up, Doc?
Some nobody with a $2 super chat. Hail, some nobody says craft used to be about writing, no effects to lean on. Yes, a script that is well written doesn't really need effects, even when it's about space. One of the best damn things I've ever seen in my life was a movie called The American Astronaut, which is an independent, no budget, black and white, rock and roll, science fiction movie with weird homoerotic underpinnings. It's one of the funniest, coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Their special effects for the ship, it's like a train, and it goes into a space barn at one point. And they're like seen on Jupiter is in a ballroom where they've got like light, like Jupiter's atmosphere, like shining down on the ground. This is creativity. This is genius, and it works because the writing is so original, so brilliant. It's actually the kind of spiritual follower of Forbidden Zone, Gary. If you've not seen American Astronaut, you haven't lived. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite films of all time, and it's all ideas, no money, and it's a work of genius.
I know I have to see that. I'm sorry, I got to see it.
You've got to see it, dude. Man, maybe if we get together, you know what? If I come up and see you, we'll watch it together. Okay,
cool, done.
Hold off watching it till
I'll wait,
because I love showing it to new people.
That'll be brilliant.
God, I love that movie. Thank you, some nobody. Trooper Bear FN 2525 with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Trooper Bear. Says Harriet is so much better than Rey Skywalker.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. But she's wonderfuler than any of you males out there in the audience with your male thingies, your male appendages, and your beards, and your playboys, and your martini shaken, not stirred. Screw you all. We're coming for you. Your time is done, boomers.
Wow. I guess I'll just say fuck you, Harriet, and move on.
Wow, Harriet.
Well,
So
she's a real piece of shit.
I heard that.
I don't care. I'm turning off her speaker. Mark C with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mark. Says Gary, if you put your space chick in your Twitter feed right now, I'll pull them out. Excuse me while I whip this out. What do you mean? It's like, if you put your space chick in your Twitter feed, I'll whip this out. Mark C, why do we want you to whip it out? I'm confused.
That is the Cosmic Crater Girl. That's the girl that's on my banner that Derek Robertson drew for me. Yeah, that's the space chick. And Doug is asking Doug is asking Forbidden Zone by Richard Elfman. Yes, Doug, that Forbidden Zone.
That's exactly, by the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo. And American Astronaut is kind of clearly inspired by it, because they have a scene in the space barn, the aforementioned space barn, where a bunch of miners got abducted in the 1800s, and they had a space taken into space by, I guess, UFOs, and they evolved a space civilization out in this space barn and got the punies, the space punies, and just like belters. And they're talking in this song, they're talking about a bunch of us old boys get to started to humping on each other, and lo and behold, a bodysuit here was born. And that, as you know, in the Forbidden Zone, they had the weird guys like going around and humping on everybody.
Yeah, so the ones in there. Well, there's that one guy in his tidy whities running around, and yeah, that was weird. That was a weird movie.
It is weird, but I tell you, clearly this is a spiritual descendant of it, but it's even better. I mean, it's much better. It's really truly a work of genius, and I absolutely adore it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Geeky Candy is here. Hello, hey. Geeky Candy, a good YouTuber and also a Legionnaire of Doomcock as well, and with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Geeky Candy. She says, "What a show." Damn right. The Expanse is absolutely brilliant, and I love it. And I thank you for being here, Geeky Candy. Good stuff, man. She's really climbed on her channel, man. She's doing great. Dreary Nitpicker with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Dreary One. Says, "Hail, my lords. Off topic, but just watched the only Blade Runner last night. I can't get over how amazing the special effects are for a 1982 movie."
Douglas Trumbull,
Dreary Nitpicker. I got to say, I can't get over the effects, period. I mean, to me, it seems real. And, I don't even qualify it as saying, oh, for its time. No, I think it's an environment that is relentlessly authentic. It is
special effects of all time.
Oh my God. Yeah. That opening when you're approaching, the Tyrell Corporation, pyramid, Jesus God, and Vangelis. Don't get me started. I did a whole DVD commentary on Blade Runner, just talking through the whole movie, and it's fantastic. I love that movie. It's one of the best movies ever made. Maybe the best movie ever made. Dixon Sider with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dixon. Says, "Merry Christmas to the best pair this side of the Odd Couple, and to Harvey as well."
Well, thank you for somebody who remembered me.
Yeah, we never forget you, Harvey. You're out of sight, but not out of mind, since you might escape and destroy us all.
Well, it's a living.
Thank you, Dixon Sider. Dreary Nitpicker with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Dreary Nitpicker, who says, "I've been watching Expanse before I started watching you guys. I guess I really do have good taste in entertainment. Hashtag solo lost money. Hashtag hail Doomcock Roddick." Damn right. Damn right they did.
I put that in my video today. I put it in my video.
Solo lost money.
Solo lost money.
Did we ever think we'd see a Star Wars movie that actually failed so spectacularly as to lose money? It's just
Hey, people are using that hashtag so much it fills itself in on Twitter now. So that's a good sign.
So does the Expanse. Hashtag the EX, and that's it. It's
Yep,
like,
and it just goes to the Expanse.
We
need it to trend, everybody. Please.
We do.
I'm keeping an eye on it. It'll probably trend tomorrow, but I'd really love it to trend. Just I am aware of the criticism levied towards myself and others, and I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I'd like to also show that and Doomcock does this as well. I mean, like you said in the beginning of this live stream, we love stuff as much as we don't love it. Okay, we're nerds, we're fans. That's what we do. So I'm going to shower this thing with praise, and I know you already have beautifully. So if you guys get, I know you guys are working hard on it, but I'd love to see it trend. That'd be a nice.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. And people always tell me all the time, you're just negative. You're just negative. You're just negative. It's because most stuff is crap. Yeah. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to goddamn lower my intelligence. I'm not going to lower my taste. I'm not going to become some kind of desperate, beaten down, pandering suck up, just to, make people feel good. I tell the truth. I tell the truth. And right now we are in a time where the truth is mostly ugly. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. All you have to do is do a decent show and you'll get a boost up from me. You don't have to be a brilliant show like The Expanse,
No.
Fuck, I even praised that episode of Watchmen, for God's sake.
Yeah, I was right there with you. Listen,
but I even went overboard more than you. I thought start to finish is pretty damn great episode. And I'll fess up, even though I despise Damon Lindelof. If he does something great, I'm gonna have to say it. Yeah. If I go to Rise of Skywalker and it's the best damn thing since Empire, I'm gonna fucking well say it.
Yep.
I just am. I tell the truth.
No, you got to. That is the purest form of love. Basically, you and I, what we're doing right now is, Star Wars has a booger hanging out its nose, and nobody's telling Star Wars that it's got a big booger hanging out its nose, and we're going, Star Wars, you gotta wipe your nose a little bit. There's a big booger hanging out right now.
Right.
That's what we're doing. But now there's a bunch of people out there going, there's no booger hanging out there, and it's like a big one.
The Emperor's got no booger. But I say he does. And Corey B with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Corey B. Says, guys, thank you both for the exceptional work. Your coverage of the woke joke Star Wars debacles and relentless truth-telling to the corporate shills and shrieking SJW zombies has provided me both solace and laughter. I'm very glad. I mean, we derive solace from you guys. We derive laughter from your witty comments in the chat. And really, I mean, this is therapy for us. So thank you for being our therapist, because, without you guys, we'd probably explode.
Yep.
Matt G with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Matt. Says, I do think there was some bad things in Trek 66 05. Not Discovery bad, just ordinary bad. Like the Q Civil War was really dumb. Yeah, that would be absolutely stupid. You're quite right on that, Matt G. And of course, at one point, the crew of the Enterprise D turned into like salamanders or something, and didn't like Tuvok and Neelix like merge into one being that was like the really odd couple. It's just they got desperate.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I was if I had a YouTube channel, probably dedicated to I didn't like Berman. I didn't like him towards the end. I thought he got too stuck in his ways, and a Star Trek and a giant stick up its butt. And that's what led us to this. If they wouldn't let it evolve a little bit, DS9 was, and I love that people are liking it. And I am too. I'm one of those people who appreciate it way more than I did when it was out. And that's the one that sticks out. But then they went back to Voyager, and then I know, listen, I'd take Enterprise all day over Discovery, but I didn't like it when it came out. I wasn't a fan. I thought I hated the fact that it was a prequel and the theme song was terrible, and
it was crap.
Yeah,
it was crap. And I have to take an exception to Javier Vega in the chat. Hello, Javier. He says BSG jumped the shark in later seasons, though. I disagree. I strongly disagree. There were a few bad episodes of Battlestar Galactica towards the end, absolutely. But in general, I think they stuck the landing. I think they stuck it fabulously. And Battlestar Galactica is absolutely one of my favorite shows. I adore it. I adore it. I get so emotional at so many points on that show. My God, Edward James Olmos was fantastic. That's another show like The Expanse where every single actor was killing it. Just absolutely killing it. And I hope that so far The Expanse is beating Battlestar Galactica simply because they haven't had a single dog of an episode, not one phony moment. But we'll see if they can go the whole way, and I believe they can. I have faith in them, but again, they haven't done it yet, so we can't really compare Battlestar Galactica with The Expanse until we see the end. A few more here, and then we're going to get to some spoilers. Some nobody with a $2 super chat says, all kind innocent men of history did nothing also. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, people are richly nuanced. We like to think of them as one dimensional, and it makes it easier to hate certain people, but ultimately, everyone is the hero of their own story in their mind. They have their reasons for what they do, and they feel justified in what they do. Very, very few people are, like Richard III, just committed to villainy. It's just not really a thing. Blue Blood 71 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Blue Blood 71. Says the creators of The Expanse are truly passionate about the story and their fans. What would Star Wars look like if its creators were that passionate? Something like Empire Strikes Back, something like A New Hope. That's what Star Wars would look like. Real Star Wars. God damn, I love that. I love Star Wars. I mean, right now on my desk, I have all sorts of Star Wars paraphernalia from the past. I've got Battlestar Galactica Cylons. I've got a bunch of robots. I've got some Cthulhu's. I've got a Stormtrooper USB here. Robbie the Robot. I've got superheroes. A naked dancing girl statue because, I'm a toxic male. But yeah, my house is full of Star Wars stuff, and I loved it, and they blew it. They killed it. Yeah. Thank you, Blue Blood 71. Trooper Bear FN 2525 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Trooper Bear. Says woke culture has ruined my childhood. In my Greta voice, how dare you? You have stolen my dreams. LOL, push the button. 1 minute to Harvey. Yes, the clock stands at 1 minute. Actually, I think I've moved the clock back.
What? Wait a minute. You said it was 1 minute to Harvey. 1 minute to Harvey Gooden.
Yes, well, now, thanks to this episode, I have moved it back to 90 seconds to Harvey Gooden.
You bastard! Damn you, The Expanse! Damn you, Expanse writers! Damn you, Expanse producers! Making his life better so he, turns the clock back. You bastards!
I pushed the button on his speaker. He cannot rant anymore. Thank you, Trooper Bear. Some nobody says, I like dimorphism. Differences make life pleasant. They do. Diversity is the spice of life.
It is.
Variety, as they say. Thank you for that $2 super chat, my friend. Dustin Bolos with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Dustin Bolos. Didn't say anything, just pop that into the tip jar, and it is very much appreciated, Dustin. Lady Mist with a $10 super chat. My Legionnaire Lady Mist, thank you, my dear. Says, just watched the first 3 episodes of The Expanse. It was great. Only going to watch 2 or 3 a week. See? So this pure joy and exciting fun will last longer. Wow. I wish I had the discipline for that. I just don't. I can't do it. Even if I wasn't reviewing, there's no way. I'm just going to have to watch it. What I recommend, if you're of that mind set, what you should do is watch The Expanse, binge The Expanse all the way through, then go back to the first one and watch the whole saga. I think that would be a very rewarding thing to do. And I know that Abby Olace, one of my Legionnaires, does that all the time. She has The Expanse on practically on a loop. She's got great taste.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
it is.
Probably gonna like set up for my patrons or something, because I don't know if I could even put this on my channel. I'm gonna basically do a live commentary as I'm watching it. So it takes a long time though, because I talk a lot during, and the Mrs. Nerdrotic, we're terrible. That's why, like, if you and I go to a movie together, it's just gonna have to be you and me. Because if I bring Mrs. Nerdrotic, we'll start talking. You'll hate me and want to leave. So
I'll only say things when I'm like suffering intensely or really angry. You know, like it'll be a negative thing. It won't be a good thing. Yeah. Thank you, Lady Mist. Loquacious Primate with a $5 super chat. Hail Legionnaire Loquacious Primate, who says, "Hail Doomrotic. Any thoughts on the animated short treks? One seemed like an LSD-infused blend of Looney Tunes and Wall-E with some Trek references. I haven't seen any of the animated short treks yet. I saw like their sad, pathetic, tweeted out promo for it, where you have Skippy the space tardigrade and a robot that would never be on the Enterprise because they didn't have fucking robots on the Enterprise. And they're having a little adventure together. Isn't that just wonderful? That just goes so well with Tribble cereal that
it does. Isn't it great?
Perfect.
I mean, Red Letter Media brought this up when they were talking about the Ghostbusters trailer, and they weren't wrong. And they're like, "Dude, remember that thing?" And it's trying to be another thing. That's what Star Trek's top 3 franchise of all time. Okay, I think we could say that pretty comfortably. It's Star Wars number 1, but as far as age and longevity, it's Doctor Who and then Star Trek, and those are interchangeable depending on what you're a fan of. Star Trek doesn't need to be anything but itself. Like you said earlier, try to copy Star Trek. Try that. Try to copy Star Trek. You know, Orville has done it brilliantly, and it's already evolving into its own thing.
Exactly. So use Star Trek as the seed, and then let that fractal grow from that seed. And that's what Orville is doing brilliantly. I mean, in 2 seasons, it has become its own thing. I am passionate about it. I adore it. And I absolutely cannot wait for season 3. Cannot wait. Shadow Man with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Shadow Man. Says, "Hail Doomcock and Gary for being our voices and telling the truth about SJWs hijacking our entertainment. They haven't got to The Expanse, the only true sci-fi on TV." Hail Shadow Man. Yes, The Expanse is fantastic. I would say that the Orville does a great job of exploring sci-fi themes as well. I mean, they do it like in the old-fashioned Star Trek way, drawing analogies and stuff on things that might be too sensitive to talk about. You know, I think they do a great job. But Shadow Man, I agree with you entirely, and you, sir, are welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Jan Gunnar with 20 Norwegian krones. Thank you, Jan, who says, "Hail Overlord, have some Norwegian gold. #Expanse." Thank you, Jan. I shall treasure your Norwegian gold. I shall sleep on it like a dragon tonight and feel very, very full of myself. Mm-hmm. The dude 1764 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, "Can't wait for the Doomrotic commentary on the rise of Palpatine, MST3K style. Keep up the good work, guys. Hail the Fandom Menace." Boy, that would probably go over like dynamite, wouldn't it? If we actually started doing like a joint kind of MST3K, just kind of riffing on movies, bad movies as we watched. I imbibing certain things and you just doing your vape thing. It could be. I mean, probably people would go crazy for it.
That'd be fun. I'd love to do it just to hang out. I think it'd be great.
I think it'd do it. We could just ping pong it back and forth on each other's channels and read chats as we went to, and it could be a lot of fun. I've never done anything like that live,
No, me neither.
Or with anyone else.
I figure we could do it. I mean, just wing it for the first time, see what happens.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's an experiment.
Let me check the dates here. So, okay, so the 19th, like a week from today, is going to be some of the best YouTube in the history of YouTube, period. From you and and over the next month, I mean, because we're going to get Mahler, Critical Drinker, Doomcock, Red Letter Media, Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, EVS, That Star Wars Girl. We're all going to be doing our videos. Drunk 3PO. Little shout out to my boy Drunk 3PO. And RK Outpost. It's going to be fantastic. But our Inquisition show is on the 22nd, so that's going to be the one after the Rise of Palpatine. That's going to be a show you're going to want to tune into, I think.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. I've got it circled, literally circled on my calendar. So.
Oh, that'll be great. So actually, that kind of works out. I mean, because so this Sunday, the 15th, will be on your channel, and you get the coup de grace on Wokeman, which is going to be epic. It's going to be epic.
It's going to be so terrible.
Oh God, it's going to be bad. I can't even imagine. And then the 15th, yeah. I mean, the 22nd, it'll be on my channel, and we will rip apart and compare the rumors, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Could you imagine if they took a white character or like Black Panther and made him white? Do you know? I mean, like, I personally, you can do whatever you want with the character. I don't really care, but like, could just imagine. I mean, it would be like the world was ending, and they changed the race of Dr. Manhattan. They changed his powers. This is after they said they wouldn't mess with the canon, and they fundamentally just shit all over the original, messing with the original, when they could have just made a Watchmen with brand new heroes. And they could have made something compelling. They could have. There's a million things they could have done that would have been better than this. But it's proof that they're like going out of their way to find things to associate with our genre, because they can't tell these stories anyway, because they're losing traction everywhere else. And when they can just make an Expanse, it's right there. And the Expanse, like right now, looks it always looked good anyway, but it looks so much better. I mean, it really exposes 2019 for just people being lazy. And Expanse, don't ever change. Do what you're doing. Keep telling your stories. Nobody's asking anybody to change their politics. Okay. I don't care. No. I just want to be entertained. No. And thank you, Expanse. Thank you. Thank you.
What about if you went and turned Black Panther into a trans character? So basically,
I think Black we should Panther call for that.
Is a transgender woman. Yeah. How would they like that?
I think we should do it.
I think we
seriously,
should.
I think we should.
I think we ought to see. And also, what about taking Wonder Woman and making her into Wonder Man?
Yeah,
Wonder Man.
Yes.
Wonder Man.
Oh, they're already complaining in the trailer. She had like heel boots on, and they're like, how could Wonder Woman have heel boots on? Because she likes style, maybe,
maybe because she's like a woman and likes to, wear heels and look beautiful. Wonder Man. That's so dumb. I love it. Thank you, the dude, for the idea of MST3K Inquisition. I think that's a lot of fun. Yeah. Josh G with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Josh. Says, love the Expanse. Thanks to you both for the recommendation. My problem with woke culture is the hypocrisy of preaching equality and inclusion while practicing hate and exclusion on opinion alone. Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly. Yeah.
It's their hypocrisy. It really is. If they were genuinely, sincerely interested in furthering social progress, then they would be watching things like The Expanse and shouting it from the highest hill, because you watch The Expanse and all of a sudden, all of your prejudices vanish in the face of superior writing, superior characterization, superior television. The wonderful thing about wonderful television is it can take you out of yourself instead of all of these millennial types, needing to see themselves represented on the screen in order to validate or feel like a story is worthwhile. Instead of that, what I like is to be placed in the shoes of a character that I am not, to expand my understanding of the human condition. And, I don't need to see myself on the fucking screen. I know what it's like to be me. I would like to know what it's like to be a woman, what it is like to be a gay character, what it is like to be an alien, all the things that I am not. That is the wonder of cinema, because it is something that fires the imagination. And what we need is more imagination, more empathy, more projecting into the shoes of other people. Instead of being so goddamn narcissistic and self-absorbed as to only want to walk in your own shoes, even when it's in a movie, you've got to see your own shoes up there that you feel comfortable in. I would much rather walk in the shoes of another soul to deepen my understanding of humanity.
Right. Listen, again, not against representation or diversity, but that's not going to help anybody feel better about themselves. Seeing yourself represented in a Star Wars movie is not going to help you with your self-esteem. I need to be okay with me without. I don't need a TV show to validate me. I need to be okay with me. I need to be like, that's the bullshit argument. It's yes. Listen, I know it must be very difficult to feel like an outsider because of who you'll want to, have sex with or fall in love with or whatever, for whatever reason. But the TV show's not going to help you. It's never going to help you. You need to feel okay with you. And you know what? You can't expect society to bend around you. It's not going to do it. Right. As a recovering alcoholic, that is something we're taught every day. We have to adapt to this society and these set of rules that work against us because we were born with some bad wiring. That's it. It sucks. That's life, kiddo. But you can't expect bars to close when you walk by. You can't expect people to put their wine away when you walk by. That's not fair. To anybody who wants to enjoy that stuff, and it's not realistic for me. And I know it might not be the best equation, because, like, listen, being gay, you should be able to go wherever they want and do whatever you want, marry whoever you want. Great, fine, no problem. Just don't. Nobody has a problem with that generally. I think it's the being told that I have to like something or it's got to be in something before I feel valid. I mean, that's not healthy behavior at all. Period. No. You need to be okay with yourself on your own, butt ass naked. That's the way it's got to be. You can't rely on anything else, anybody else's opinion, or you're just never going to move on with life. Ever. You're going to be trapped in that arrested development that a lot of people accuse us of being in. But quite frankly, I'm very, very comfortable in my skin and with my action figures as a 50-year-old man. Cause I'm cool with it. There's no shame to my game ever. And there shouldn't be yours either. You don't need anybody else to validate you. And just because how does that help anybody? I mean, fine if they put it in, but you're not really helping any cause if Jar Jar Abrams says there is a character who might be gay in one Star Wars movie. That's not going to really help anything or move anything forward. Now, if you make a star, we talked about this before. If the main character in the next Star Wars movie is openly gay, and then you release that movie in China without cutting it once, then I'll believe. Then you're behind your cause, and that's what Jeremy from the Quartering
committed. Exactly.
Yeah, Jeremy from the Quartering said that. I totally back that 1000%. It's like, okay, put your money where your mouth is, Disney.
Absolutely. And I'm sick and tired of all this. You feel, you're different this or you're different that. We all feel different. We all feel different. I don't think there's you have to be a towering egomaniac, narcissist to have not felt different as a kid, to not feel like an outcast over and over again. I have felt like an outcast my whole life.
Me too.
And,
more recently. I got you. No, I feel you. I was. I was the very definition of it for a long time.
Exactly.
And I feel ya.
So, you know, it's like, oh, I feel excluded. I've felt excluded my whole life. I mean, one of my favorite phrases is an outcast from life's feast, at the end of The Dead by James Joyce. That phrase just stuck with me, that he felt like an outcast from life's feast. And that's until very recently, that's how I felt my whole life. And when you grow up feeling that way, when you're alienated on the playground and you're lonely and you feel like worthless and all these horrible things, that sticks with you. It doesn't matter how much success you have later in life. It doesn't matter if you become rich or you become powerful. Deep down, you're always going to feel that sense of being alone and being sad. So yeah, fuck you and your whiny ass bullshit.
Exactly,
it's like that's welcome to the fucking human race. Okay? Welcome to the fucking human race. If you could have seen me on the playground being alone and mocked and shit because I wanted to read rather than, you know, run around and you know, shove sticks in sand or whatever. You'd see what alienation is. Fuck you. Tetsuo's Wrath with a $2 super chat says, SWEU is how Star Wars looks when Lucasfilm Limited cares. An accurate portrait, Tetsuo's Wrath. Thank you, my friend, for being here. Captain Spire with 2 $5 super chats in a row. Thank you, oh Captain Spire, who made my Doomcock shield, which is a fabulous and terrible thing. Captain Spire says, Merry Christmas, you two. Thank you for giving us courage to stand up to big names, CBS, and defenders of stupid things like them. Absolutely, Captain. He says, my company rented a theater on the 15th of January to watch Rise of Sithwalker. So I'm going. I think I need to buy a shirt for just such an event. Yes. Wear a Doomcock shirt in there. That'll turn heads. Somebody is like going into the heart of Disneyland, Gary, wearing one of my shirts. I'm just so thrilled. I was going to go into Galaxy's Edge wearing one of my shirts.
That's awesome.
I want to see the reactions. He said he wanted to see the reactions. So do I. Michael Setterlund with a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Michael. Says, what is your guys' thoughts and opinions on Babylon 5? I loved it. I think it was a great experiment that got sabotaged by circumstance, early cancellation, and of course, Michael O'Hare having to be replaced because he had some emotional issues. And God bless him, he was great. My thought is that I hope Jar Jar Abrams doesn't get a hold of it and destroy it. Your thoughts before we? That's the last super chat, by the way, Gary.
I haven't seen it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
It came out in a time I was what Babylon 5 was the same year as DS9, right? So same time basically.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. I was really busy working and being a 20-something douchebag or something. I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't watching a ton of TV. I watched my Star Trek and I watched my X-Files and I was really into my football and I was doing other things. I was really, you know what? That was during a time in my life I really attempted to be a normie. Okay. I don't talk about it very much, but I really tried to work like this 9-to-5 job and just be, and that's what I was going to do. 'Cause it's a long story, but I tried and I failed miserably at being a normie. So
I don't do well in normie circumstances.
Nope. I found out I didn't either. Just
right.
Didn't fit in.
Some nobody with a $5 super chat says Western culture is based on the fact that individual is the ultimate minority. We can only protect human dignity by protecting the individual human. I agree with that 1,000%. I could not possibly agree with that more.
There's no hive minds out there. I don't see gay people as a hive mind or women as a hive mind, and they all act the same. And they are people, unique people. And this whole like putting us in the groups so you can divide us thing is just, I'm getting tired, especially dividing men and women. That they're trying to do that, pit us against each other, and that just that really pisses me off.
Very true. And finally, Sarah Johnson, my #1 Viking fan. I truly believe this. Hail Sarah Johnson with a $2 super chat who says, "Hail my lord." To which I say to Sarah Johnson, hail to the Viking. It is wonderful to see you, Sarah. Thank you for being here tonight. All right. From this point on, there be spoilers. We're not going to go on super long, but I really I have a burning need to talk about this with Gary. So
yeah.
Let's geek out about this. If you don't want to hear spoilers, please leave. Now would be the time.
We don't want to spoil something. It's very, very good, and I'd hate to spoil it. I'm sure you would too. To spoil, like,
yes, the Doom Squirrel is telling you to run away, run away. Yeah. And I will address the rest of the super chats here in a moment. And you're welcome, Sarah. It's wonderful to have you here, Sarah Johnson, my #1 Viking fan. All right. And there you are with that $4.99 super chat said, hail Gary and Doomcock, another spectacular show. We cannot have the show go by without hearing from Sabu. And then I did it without even reading the super chat. Isn't that weird? Great minds think alike. All right. And Nicholas Horton, will you both review Lost in Space season 2? I probably won't. I didn't like season 1. And Matt G with a $2 super chat said, what was the first fandom? Trek, TOS, Wizard of Oz? Shit, I don't know. I would think probably of modern fandom. I would think Star Trek was probably the first really big fan following. But I didn't want to answer for you. Gary, are you going to review Lost in Space season 2?
No.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into it. All right.
Spoilers. Season 1 wasn't spectacular. So, and it was super like it was kind of woke. So
it was kind of messed up. All right, let's go through this a little bit. All right, so the opening with the Belters, spoilers, making a run for the gold, to get into the ring and go colonize another planet. Well, some of them got through this blockade. There's a joint Belter Mars, UN blockade, basically preventing people from, going. Now, it's interesting, Gary. I would like to talk with you a little bit about your thoughts. There's a very interesting debate in the opening of this show. They're throwing up a blockade. They're trying to block people from going through these portals and settling these other worlds.
They want to try to control it. Yeah.
Well, Avasarala is adamant that they cannot let people through. Someone else on her cabinet was saying, we have a planet full of unemployed people. They want to get out there and have an adventure and colonize and expand. Who are you to say that they can't? And I tell you, I think it's a compelling argument, and I'd like to kind of pursue that with you.
So Avasarala, her argument is the protomolecule is out there. The protomolecule, while we found out that it's not evil, it's a tool. It's a machine,
right?
But it's got its programming, and its programming can't be changed by any humans, although they've been able to manipulate it, and it could be out there. So we can't just have people running out willy-nilly outside through the gates, because there could be little green men or the protomolecule on the other side, and we need to go out and look to make sure people are actually safe.
Right.
And she makes the point of saying in the gold rush, when the body bags started coming back, people were just lining up to replace those body bags. And that's essentially what was going to happen. But they also wanted to stake an economic claim. And the reason there's a truce is because each one of those factions know that the first person who finds a planet full of resources is going to be the new power in town. And they're trying to self-police each other on power. The thing is, you can't control that. As much as you try, you can't. So that's what they're trying to take, baby steps. And I think that's something that is very real. They would try to do that. We follow the ship, the Barbara Piccola, which is from Ganymede. Remember that we had a massacre on Ganymede, basically,
right?
And we had children being tested on for protomolecule,
right?
So the Belters have been victimized a lot. They were victimized with Eros. They were victimized on Ganymede. And the thing was, it wasn't necessarily the governments that were victimizing these belters. It was factions in the government. It was companies and the military. Again, this is like bad people in service of good people and vice versa. Doesn't matter that there's a lot of animosity. So there's a loose a truce going on. But yeah, it's a very compelling argument. Like, why would you? I mean, you can't stop these people. So currently they have a blockade. But people are slipping by. But people are slipping by.
I don't really have a clear position on this. I mean, this is one of the reasons why the show is so compelling and the writing is so damn sharp, is because I can see arguments for both sides. I mean, I personally like liberty, and I resent governmental impositions on that liberty. I think drug laws are basically bullshit. It's my body. I can do what I want with it, in my opinion. I don't use drugs, alcohol, but I don't feel like the government has the authority to dictate, that personal liberty. And if I want to go risk my life on an alien planet, because where the fuck would we be if the American West, let's say in Washington, when the country was expanding westward, if they said, well, there might be a massive tribe of Indians out there and we don't want to go that far because we might stir them up and then they might descend on us and massacre us. And so they had blockades and were preventing settlers from going. I mean, sure. I mean, settlers were dropping on the gold rush stuff, like flies, and yet people lined up because that's how the race works. That's how we expand. That's how that sense of adventure and frontiers. But on the other hand, okay, I mean, these are obviously spoilers, and this is some speculation here, but okay, I'm not worried about the protomolecule. I'm not at all worried about the protomolecule.
And a lot of people still, I mean, they know just within this realm, they know what they've seen on the news, but maybe not everybody knows about it. And yeah, there were probably a lot of people not worried about it. Like, space is big. It might not be out there. It'd be a crapshoot if you found the right planet.
Well, personally, from what I know as a viewer, I mean, obviously I don't know about it being in the universe, but personally, and I could be wrong, I haven't read the books, I think the protomolecule essentially achieved its aim. And probably at this, because it was a telepathic link and it was trying to build this ring. It's built the ring. I don't think it's going to be a player anymore. I think there's other problems out there.
The protomolecule, and this was established in the show already, was a tool that was sent out by a race. The protomolecule is not the alien. It was just a tool made by an alien who we don't know because they're all dead.
Right.
They were culled, and something killed them all. Something killed them all. So that's out there, and we don't know what it is. And what they did in this episode is they set up 2 seasons. Okay. They set up 2 books.
Beautiful.
You're already seeing belter tension. You're seeing drummer, like, hey, we're shooting on our own people. This is fucked up. And then she's being a little nationalist, I guess no, it's not the right term. She basically doesn't think the belters belong on any planet. And quite frankly, a lot of them can't survive. And then she's worried about the legacy. She's like, in 2 generations, there won't be any more belters. They'll forget about us.
Right. And also in the books, Thomas Preston in the chat is saying in the books, they're afraid that if they open it up, it will cause the fall of Mars.
Well, yes, I'm trying to avoid that. But yes, that does get
chat, so
that does get brought up. That they hint to that a little bit, and they changed a lot from the beginning of the book. I mean, this is pretty much nothing like the beginning of the book. It's the ship crashing does happen, but that's about it. That's about it. And there's a major character missing right now, which kind of sucks. But Havelock is supposed to be around. That's Miller's old partner from season 1. But that guy's off playing Magnum PI right now, so he's not going to be in the show.
Right.
So there will be no Havelock, and he plays a major part. Naomi going on the planet. It's a little different, but Mars plays a major factor in this because, and so does the belt. So you have 2 out of the 3 systems. Like, it's a benefit for Earth. Like, Earth gets rid of some of its surplus population. It's great. Earth is in the best shape of anybody because even if they don't control what's in the gate, they're fine. They're Earth. They got all the free air and water. It's the other 2 civilizations that are about to collapse now because this changes everything. You don't need, you still need belters, but the belters think you don't need them, and that's the perception. They're wrong if you think about it. If you really think about it, they're wrong. Mars, yes, Mars is a problem because Mars is Russia after the Cold War ended. Okay. Because there's a bunch of weapons, there's a bunch of nuclear bombs, and you have a system breaking down. So yeah, that's never good. That's never good. We're setting all this up. Plus, there's a giant alien structure on this planet. So this planet that that the Belters call Elos. Now Ellis. They got there first. That was the Barbara Piccola who escaped through the ring. Some of them survived, and the planet is practically made of lithium. I want you to remember that. The planet is practically made of lithium.
Do they have dilithium crystals?
Yes, they have time crystals too. Time crystal meth.
Got dilithium crystals, and we've got to get on this planet before the Klingons discover it.
Do I want to smoke Kyber crystal meth, dilithium crystal meth, or time crystal meth?
Yeah, I want to smoke dilithium.
Or dark crystal meth.
Well, it's green. All right.
No, but so that's what we're setting up. I mean, and they're not going to be able to get through all this all season. So there's this giant alien structure, and it's empty. It's alien ruins. And the funny thing is, the Belters could give 2 shits.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's there. Lithium. And now there's a company out there that has sent out. This is through Avasarala. Now this is a little different, but there's supposed to be contracts, and they're trying to be bureaucratic about it. So they're sending out scientists to go and test all these planets to make sure they're safe. And I'm sure that's part of their intention, but the other intention is to stake claim to it.
Well, and yet, there is definitely Avasarala is heeding Holden's vision. Look, Holden has this vision in the show of the proto-molecule on a planet essentially getting engulfed and devoured by a kind of dark green matter, which then explodes outward from the planet. So my feeling is that there is that this dark green material, whatever the hell it is, devouring the proto-molecule and expanding out, is the real threat. And that is what Holden is having a vision of.
It's who killed God? Basically.
Exactly. And my feeling is that the proto-molecule was created by this race. I'm going to call them the Krell, because essentially they're like the Krell. I mean, in Forbidden Planet, a race that overnight was devoured, destroyed by a force that they could not understand. At the height of civilization, they created this proto-molecule that would expand out, seek out intelligent life, do what it did, create a ring, open up these avenues, in the hopes that another civilization would have another crack at destroying this ultimate kind of menace. That is my feeling about the proto-molecule. Don't confirm it or what. I mean, I haven't read the books. And so in a sense, Avasarala is extremely wise. I mean, you've read the books, and I think you're being a little bit cynical about that they're trying to control it, or at least Avasarala is. I think Avasarala has the big view of history. I mean, I think she is a bureaucrat, but I think she's listened to Holden, and I think she fears what he's told her, and that's why she goes to him to kind of assess the situation. I think look, this is a very, very risky business, because if you start sending humans willy-nilly through there, and there's some really, really aggressive alien species that killed this race of gods that says, fresh meat, and traces them out through the gate and then comes out. I mean, it's a world of shit for Earth, Mars, and the belt. So I'm kind of torn on this, because I believe in freedom, but I also believe that if a government knows that a certain population or a town has a potentially humanity killing plague firing up in it, do you nuke that town and kill the innocent people? Well, I don't know. I mean, they're going to die anyway. If it's this kind of Spanish flu kind of shit, or 10 times worse, or, breaks out of a lab, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain point where I think the common good has to impact individual liberty when it's a global style threat like that.
Yeah,
I offer. What do you think?
No, Avasarala she does have the bigger picture in mind. She's got a blind spot. I can't spoil too much. She does have the best intentions. She just can't control everything, and that's the biggest problem. It's by no mistake of her own or anything. No. And the best thing about the Expanse is honestly, and I don't know. The two writers, James S.A. Corey, I don't know how much, maybe they're just friendly with George R.R. Martin, or maybe they're just inspired, or maybe they're just alike, but they write very similar. And all Game of Thrones all A Song of Ice and Fire, the book series, is you set up a series, you're setting up plans to get foiled. They just go sideways every time. So you see these characters spend chapter after chapter setting something up, and then something completely unexpected, but real. Like you buy that it's a real event that could happen, not just some Deus Ex Machina BS, comes to completely ruin it. But it's in such a compelling and interesting way. And the Expanse is just a series of shit going sideways every time. So the gates open, and this looks like this great opportunity. And then they expect the worst, but then something else happens that wasn't what they expected, but they should have seen coming. If that's a good way to explain it. So without ruining stuff for you, it's gonna this season is gonna be crazy if they do half the stuff they did in the book.
Wow.
And you saw a little bit of it. So at the end of the episode, you saw and this was new. This is not in the books. But this planet has life on it. It's got like I don't know if they'll show it. I hope they do. It's got a mimic lizard, so it's a lizard that can mimic you, and it looks kind of like a frog and a lizard, and it eats by throwing stuff. Well,
don't too many spoilers. Too many spoilers.
Well, I don't know if they're going to put it in there, but it doesn't have anything major to the plot. It's just an alien. There's other aliens in it. That they may or might not do, but that little thing at the end, that little barbed locust thing, that was creepy. Cool. Yeah,
that was creepy. So there was a scene around the campfire with Holden and his mom where I referenced earlier and said how good it was. In that scene, she gives him a copy of Don Quixote.
Yep,
and he laughs when he sees it. He says, I'll have to reread this. And the reason he laughs is because he's been living it. I mean, he has been tilting at windmills the entire series. So it was just a sweet kind of moment. And then of course, there's a flash of lightning, and his mom hugs him and says, the storm's coming. I'm going to go and, shut the house up. And Oh, there's definitely a storm coming. I mean, I like that foreshadowing. And then one of my favorite scenes in this episode came a scene between Holden and Miller. I love that scene more than I can possibly say. It was so Miller. He shows up and he says something about that. Got to talk about that ride, kid. Next clue to the case. And and he kind of smiles and he talks to him. And, it kind of drifts around and says, well, we're not going we're going to New York. What's in New York? Oh, tall buildings and stuff. He says, well, yeah, but got to talk about that ride, kid. Next clue to the case. And then at one point he looks up at the sky and he says, I wonder what the rain tastes like. And it was just, oh God.
And that's a reference to season 1, when somebody says, why you wear that hat, keeps the rain off my head. And yes. And it sounds like he's talking gibberish right there. But there's something behind that's going to form over the next, I'm guessing the next couple of episodes.
Well, I felt like, for me, it was more than just, it felt like there is something behind Miller, this manifestation of Miller that captures his soul to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
It was so poignant. It was like Miller is like a recording to some extent, but then also a little bit peeks through. There's a active intelligence there. So I don't know if it's merely Holden's memories or imagining of what Miller might be, that Miller is like his imaginary friend to some extent. Either way, it was incredibly poignant to me. Like you catch glimpses of Miller moving in and out of this interaction. It was very, very moving to me. And I just love the hell out of it. It's just magical. The scene between Amos and Melba, aka Clarissa,
mm-hmm.
That call where she gets one message a month, that was a lovely scene.
Yes, he called her Peaches too.
I know,
which is from the book. And I'll just say it was a good scene. I'm going to leave that one alone. What I wish they could do, but they can't with Miller. They named an episode last year, It Reaches Out. Okay, so for those of you who've read the books, know what I'm talking about. The Miller, there's like little Miller interludes in Cibola Burns called It Reaches Out, and each chapter starts out going, it reaches out, it reaches out, it kills itself, it builds itself again, it kills itself, it builds itself again.
All right.
I wish they could convey that, and I know they're not going to be able to in the show. We've already moved past it, by the way. So there's something very cool with Miller, but also horrific.
Well, I don't want to know these things, so don't tell me shit from the books anymore. All right. I don't want to know this shit. So no more like giving shit away from the books. All right. Cause it's like, fuck. I'm like a fan of this. I don't want any like spoilers or shit. I don't want to know there's something horrific with, damn.
Well, they're not going to do it. They've already cut it out.
Okay. Well,
so it's not happening in the show. So you don't have to worry.
God. Well, I don't want to know anything.
They've changed. This isn't even anything like the book.
Okay. Good. Thank God. I like Bobby had some good stuff. Was that kid in the apartment? I mean, was that just a kid like lives with
family member, I believe.
But it's not.
She's like living with her brother right now because she's not in the military anymore. She's trying to adapt.
Okay. So it's not okay, because she's awful familiar with him, but she doesn't have a kid, right?
No, that's her nephew.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Because I was thinking that was kind of weird. Let's see. We had some good stuff with a belter trying to run, and Ashford targets the engine, and tries to disable him from getting into the ring safely, but then the reactor blows up, and he has a great deal of regret. And it's really a survivor belter like comes on and talks to him briefly before he dies. I thought that was very poignant. It pays well to kill your own for the inners. Keep it belters out of the ring.
A good little inner.
Yeah, it got
worst
to it.
Insult imaginable.
What did he say?
It's the worst insult imaginable. And yeah, he's and then they made and then he's conflicted, I guess, quite a bit because of this truce they're having, and quite frankly, the Belchers have gotten the short end of the stick throughout this whole thing. But they're trying to make this work too. But yeah, and that's what's cool about the Ashford character that they showed last season.
Yeah,
of just he alluded to losing his daughter, right? He lost his daughter, and that's why he's got all those burns and stuff. And he used to be like the worst type of pirate. Now he's just trying to live do the right thing. Even when he tried to stop Holden, he admitted it in this episode. He's like, I just didn't see it. I had a blind spot. I thought he was a crazy man, and he turned out to be a prophet, and he just kind of shrugs. That's all I like that. But yeah,
so good.
That was a cool little scene. And yeah.
And of course we talked about the trailer scene, which was absolutely wonderful. God, I can't say enough great things about that. The shot, just so much, the shot of the Rocinante landing on the planet was just lyrical. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. And what else? I mean, I don't want to go meticulously break down the episode or anything, but I mean,
what else? They just were setting things up, and that, like I said, they're setting things up for 2 seasons, and I don't even think they're getting through this entire book this season.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't looked ahead at any episodes or anything, but I just don't think they could do it. Because so much happens in the book. And there's actually a couple of great places you could just end it, and it would be a good ending for a season, and you could go on from there. And that's probably why it got season 5. They probably realized that, we're going to have to end it at a place if we want to tell this story right, it's going to have to be over 2 seasons. So I figured Jeff Bezos must be a fan to do that with a show that, quite frankly, did not get a ton of viewers. It just didn't. It got a million maybe on Sci-Fi at the most. But I think it must have done really well on Amazon Prime. That's what I was thinking is like the response must have been great for them to do that. So I don't know when they're filming it again or not, but his arc will be interesting because, again, I don't know where he's going. I don't know where this character's going. So it's interesting to see.
It really is. Okay. So I want to talk about the Edward Israel, shuttle coming down.
Yes.
All right. So it looks to me, spoiler, like it gets shot up, but I don't know. Maybe it was these weird insects or something. I mean, if you know from the book, I don't want to know, but I mean, it just struck me as well. It looked like maybe like a belter was shooting at them to make them not land, but then the Rocinante landed unimpeded. So is that weird or will it be explained later, do you think?
I think it'll be explained later. It looked to me, when I was first watching it, I thought that, like I said, it's a change from the book, or is it? I don't know, because they kept the information from us this episode, which I think was smart. But it looked like you could explain it away. It looked like just pieces of asteroid and rock were shooting through the ship, but it was too close to the ground for it to be that. If you think about it, because you could see the ground, so something had to happen to shoot something that compromises the hull, blows the freaking holes in it. And that scene was brilliant, by the way. and you got to just, I think the importance of that scene was Murtry's reaction. You really got an establishment of what kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
And he's even kind of an enigma in the books, I'll just say. And they'll probably keep him an enigma in the show. And yeah, but I think it'll be answered later. And I think what I got out of it was the news broadcast. And then Avasarala is saying later that, well, we don't know what it is, but the story's metastasizing or something like that. She says, we don't know what happened. There is no cause for the crash. We know there's survivors. We know the Belchers were there to help them. We saw the doctor come up. She's going to be a major character in this. And we saw a couple. Actually, we saw 3 major characters from this story. You met 3 of your the most prominent characters that going out. LV and Murtry, Adolphus Murtry, who I just can't wait to see him on screen.
Well, I mean, the guy, I call him Owen because of,
he's Owen to me too.
But Owen is a hell of a presence, and shit, just watching him in this episode, he's fucking scary. So it's going to be an interesting, experience. I love this episode, and I am thrilled that the Expanse is back, and we're going to be watching the hell out of it. And we will be back on Saturday to go over the whole thing. And of course, then the Inquisition on Sunday over on Gary's channel. We are going to go ahead and dissect Wokeman, the finale. And there will probably be cussing and much wailing and gnashing of teeth and rending of garments. It should be a great time. I got a few more super chats here, and I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But I thank you guys for attending on this impromptu edition of the Inquisition. And yeah, it's just been a blast. Let's see. Wes Moody with the $2.22 super chat. Thank you, Wes. Says, hashtag the Expanse restored my faith in humanity. Mostly. Thank you, Wes Moody.
It's a nice oasis. I mean, we're surrounded by so much garbage right now.
We are.
It really is bad. But it's not. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a nice breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Really is. That's good. On IMDb, it got a 9.4 rating. That's good.
Sweet.
That's good.
Should be a 10, but never mind.
I agree.
Ripper Rex has a good point. It says that bug that Holden picked up seemed biomechanical. Yes, it did. It definitely did to me. And it was weird, creepy as fuck. So yeah, they're on an alien planet, man. And of course, it doesn't surprise me that there's life on the planet. If you're going to have water and you're going to have, atmosphere, you're going to have some kind of life. I mean, it just seems very unusual if they don't. Matches Burn with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Matches Burn. Says, please let someone overthrow the UN. We shall see. We shall see.
The UN in the or the UN.
I don't know.
That's the one thing I like about the Expanse is how they portray the UN. They don't portray it as some freaking utopia.
No
government. You got most of the planet is unemployed. They're on basic, and these are people who chose it. There is employment out there. They could work. They just decide not to, and it's become such a drain on the system. They explain it in a little bit, but there was an environmental crisis, and that's why there's no more America. And but it doesn't paint a pretty picture. That's what I like. It paints a realistic one. That it was a necessary evil, and it's really outlived itself, and it's over bureaucratic, and it really sucks. So you have to, again, it just favors the uber rich, and there's no middle class anymore. And yeah, it's just bad. It's bad.
It is. It's a great show. It's well thought out. It's a detailed universe. Talking about real world building as opposed to Tulsa, Oklahoma bullshit. Yeah. And Matches Burn clarified he's talking about the Expanse.
Yeah, okay, I
He
thought
said,
so.
Don't bring real
I was
world
joking.
politics here. I agree.
I was
So
joking.
thank you, Matches Burn, for that clarification. Gary, man, it has been a blast hanging out with you and talking about this.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this season goes. Again, it sucks that we can't cover each episode.
Yeah.
Especially when this one was just set up, and it's setting up so much that you're going to have to really rewatch this one and keep it in mind for season 5 and probably season 6. Because
Shit.
They
watch it twice.
Yes. Just try to remember everything you can from this episode. Yeah. Watch it twice, watch it 3 times, because they set up a lot of stuff, but they also, it depends on how much of a book fanatic you are. And listen, I'm the same way, like with certain things. I'm very much like that with like Spider-Man, the character of Spider-Man. I don't like them taking liberties with Spider-Man.
Right.
I don't want them taking liberties with Lord of the Rings. There's certain things, and some people feel that way about the Expanse. I understand that. But the show does take liberties. It does. People are prettier. The Belters don't look right.
Well, they could. How could they do it though?
They couldn't. No,
yeah.
And I'm fine with the changes personally. I'm just saying there's people out there who are not, and I understand it. But just, if you're a book fan, they're going to be taking major liberties with the books, and I'm okay with that, because honestly, I think the show improves on them. To be frank about it.
I mean, it's like with Game of Thrones. I mean, I started out, I didn't know about the books, and I saw the show, and I danced with who brung me. So, I'm going to stick with the show on the Expanse until it's over, and then I'll go to the book, and then I guess I can decide which one I like better. But, geez, I'm just going to stay with the show. I'm going to take that as the kind of authoritative thing. But if you've read both, then I mean, you may well disagree with that stance. But, to me, Naomi is Dominique, and Kara is drummer, and it's just the way it is. I can't help it. So yeah. Anyway, I can't really address those objections. You can though, because you've read all of them, right? That have been published.
Yep.
Yeah. God, I don't know how you find the time to read, man. You're a Superman.
I only sleep like 4 hours a night at this point. So,
in upside down in gravity boots like Batman.
Yes,
that's what I thought. It is a pleasure and an honor to be doing this with you, Gary. And
likewise.
Just a joy. Plug your channel, my friend. What are you working on? What do you got coming up?
Oh my goodness. I guess tomorrow there's the Mandalorian, which is just going to be what a letdown after watching the Expanse. I think I'd rather watch the Expanse all night. I probably will do an Expanse video. We need to talk about Star Trek. We'll probably do that Sunday.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on with Star Trek right now. It's not good. But yeah, and hopefully I'll get hopefully an Expanse review. But we'll be on the Inquisition on Sunday, and that'll be the final episode, thank God, of The Watchmen. So that'll be at 7:30 p.m.
Yes, absolutely. I will be there and suffer through it with you, and we'll address it together. We'll address it together.
God, thank God it's over.
Thank you guys so much. This was on short notice, and you guys showed up, and I really appreciate it. And all right, from the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock and Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic Channel, bidding you all, my friends, have a good night, stay angry, and join us again on Saturday and Sunday for our live streams. We're gonna get busy.
We're gonna get busy.
Good night, you guys. Thank you so much.
Good night.